You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Trinidad, to leave here, boy, you must be mad. This is the land of milk and honey, rum and coke and easy money. While those verses we were singing, alarm bells kept on ringing. Pundits on each pulpit saying, our heart and our soul decaying. Suddenly we wake up to a living nightmare, not bliss while editorials ask, how did we ever come to this? But so long we hear it, you got to stand up and be counted. But daily we're intimidated. Every day our next witness silence while we recoil from the violence. In our land there is a crisis, broke police, unruly ISIS, while sweet revenge gangs exacting. Police commissioner still acting Trinbago. It's high time we separate the goat from the sheep. Tell them talk is cheap. We're caught in the world when we have to reap, while them police busy playing hide and seek. We're facing the world when we had to reap. Hey, oh yeah, save our land, Trinidad and Tobago. Oh yeah, in our school skits getting on, we're fighting, making porn. Our school girls you won't believe, live MMA they pulling weave. Check the vibes they're living by, dance all slackness, get rich or die. Alkaline to Movado, mention maestro they don't know. No morals, no ethics, there is a centrifugal black hole. Nothing must move quick to wake their conscience and save their soul. So long we've been hearing evil triumphs when good men do nothing. No triggers pump while words be frotting, and while church attendance real low. Protest pack plus them casino, while black market prices haggling. Through a port with big guns they smuggling. Spanish women are hot like their music. Saucy salsa, human traffic, Trinbago. We can't wait. The devil making hay while we sleep. Tell them talk is cheap. We're caught in the world when we have to reap, while we look on them as more mothers who weep. We're facing the world when we had to reap. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, now the nation's soul has been revealed. How they find Shannon Banfield, busy street, yes, in our city, killed by beasts who show no pity. Now there's fear and trepidation. What is happening to our nation? So I pray this one infraction will propel us into action. Trinbago, the time is now. We have to take our country back while these monsters flow. We cannot run from their attack. That is why I'm still saying, time to stand up and be counted. Our young girls, they're being hunted, not for jobs by institutions, but by clubs for prostitution. While from you gas, some arranging on the seas, cargo
strive to be happy. Relentless search for luxury. In search of peace and happiness, the human mind wouldn't rest. A constant nag within we soul, demanding respect from the world. We get the urge in different form, but luxury is the norm. Money is very essential, but can't buy peace of mind at all. We still like dogs without a bone if we have the money alone. Because appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because importance, if we are drive to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously. The feeling has no barrier. Race and class doesn't matter. Once you are alive, you in the game. You do anything to get a good name. Some wealthy men turn to suicide. Can't find food to feed their pride. The aged and crippled in the ring, fight to be like a king. Children become delinquent for lack of love from their parents. That's why appreciation is most important to man. Appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because important, if we are trying to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously. Wages never solution to bad industrial relations. Employees will gladly draw their pay and do the job half the way. When workman feeling unwanted, the working spirit is daunted. He comes on the job and fool around, production going down. Just make him feel significant. You get him do anything you want. A pat on the back is the best move for relations to improve. Because appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because important, if we are trying to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously. Our deepest craving is common. All we need is attention to put us in the happy zone, regardless of what we own. without it. Each one should give a little bit. Do what you want your neighbors do, then life on earth will be true. Take a tip from the scripture. Appreciate one another. Share your love and make the mold for total peace in the world. Appreciation based on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because important if we are trying to live. Everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously.
Look there, boy, shopping. Time to do something for your country. I opening a political party. Time for you to make the decision at the next general election and join the leaders of our nation. When I read them Sunday newspapers with all them cussing cuss neighbors, I tell myself I am not polite. Selvin Cudjoe like he joined the line. Martin Daly cussing the behind. And Alcaraz for my gonna change my mind. Cause I find everybody of a new thing. They think cussing the BNM. Fine and anthem. If your body come a problem, cussing the BNM. I saw reasoning in danger, building the house near the water. When you see them, you see a body water. Goat and cow down to ambush them. Look at them in people and them. Still they cussing the BNM. It's only Kyson from the review friend who not cussing the BNM. Sweet music. I am no privy to no party. I am not for what's in you crowd. I am simply saying things to be. A&R and Panda, when you see them later, they had a few husbands down here. But since Brooklyn and Line, I think all of them is coming right. Even what they say in lie. And on the TV and the radio, man call it from fighting my arrow to cuss rowdy goat pen in Tobago. Everybody out of seeds, rot and brandy, cussing the BNM. And tame the system, bringing home and mayhem, but cussing the BNM. Like people on the road in danger, and people keeping all your guns cover. Anytime you see him, iron is forever. Government had to change laws to stop them from keeping your vote and proper pen, cause they costing the PNL. It's only catch soldiers like they be and them who not costing the PNL. Sweet music. School children fighting is a problem. Up in mayhem, around mayhem, everything is a big problem. We humping and suck them, everything right here is problem, but they still cutting the PNM. Even if you have the water, man fighting with the pipeline water, cutting up all in the wall. And on the street, you know me, if you see people fighting, you see, fighting because of the UNC. Everybody from the country to brandy, cussing me PNM. Hail and hearty, even the sickly, cussing me PNM. Everybody fighting to get them. Nobody running and even looking up and hating. They come down and open me, but they cussing the PNM. It's only 30 of them who not cussing the PNM. Gonna give you a special verse. So go with that music. Take the THA in Tobago. What will you do them? I don't know. But they only cussing the man for show. Take Petro train down in Sando. Government give them house and land for so. Yet they treated him like a old hoe. Million they spend getting to fight COVID-19, but they refuse and cost the vaccine. The government was in Jerusalem. Property tax was not a problem. Yet Anil Roberts was in PNM. Everybody from town to Brandy, cussing the PNM. Even Lady Gypsy, cause she brother already. Now she cussing the PNM. Even them from a ranger, they're fighting it forever. Even then invader fighting over. Last line I'll be friend. But Gary Griffith, my good friend, he come down and cuss the PNM. It's only skin apart, all them women who not cussing the PNM. God bless, God bless.
She's going to be singing Plight of My People. Make some noise for Lady Gypsy.
No plight of my people. Too much a one thing good for nothing. Too much a good thing never enough. I don't know why my black people cannot see. No party never care about we. Every election we so devoted. How we love up we PNM. As soon as election come and go, it's only problem after problem. How could we cope? Man lost their hope. I ain't seeing no solution. Every time PNM come in power, it takes a toll on black man. I don't want to sound like a racist, but this is what I can see. They just take care of the race, cause they damn well know they have we. I want to ring me bell, wake up Eric Williams. Tell him the party found him PNM needed immediate attention. Ring me bell, wake up Mother Cornhucks. Tell she to cast a spell on we party, not what it used to be. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. This thing is becoming out of hand. It's time this damn nonsense stop. If you don't sing a PNM song, from Skinner Park you'll be dropped. Calypsonian could have sing what they want. We were the spokesman for the people. Eric Duffy, Chambers Dunphy. When Kamala drunk, how she like to pee. Calypsonian, no, that's no way to go. Too much happening in we country. All this killing spree, young woman body, but only about PNM you could sing. All them songs playing on the radio, all you singing with Kamala do. But when PNM do a wrong thing, I ain't hearing a word from you. I want to ring me bell, wake up Mother Carcel. Every Monday she preach on Wack Radio and is the biggest critic of Calypso. Ring me bell, for Patsy and Joni. I want them two cultural lovers to know not only PNM song is Calypso. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. I ring my bell, ring my bell. I ring my bell down there. Crime will never stop in this country once black people belly empty. How could a man work in CPEP maintain his whole family? All you say the past regime was so bad, so much wrong thing they done to we. Now that PNM take over, why poor people going hungry? When PNM win, all African grin. Now we get back we country. All they doing is complaining and ain't doing nothing for we. The mess already made, don't sit in the shade and ponder on we problem. Get off your ass and do it fast and find a way to solve them. I want to ring me bell, wake up Randolph Burrows. Tell him among all past police commissioners, up to now is he I prefer. Ring me bell, wake up the Lord Bryna. Tell him the state of Calypso today is a good thing he passed away.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. It's so sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother, cover my sister, them who under pressure. Cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover me.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends.
Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Let me say a special hello to all of WZYE 95.9 FM listeners, of course, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And I will be riding solo till either Diana and Tommy join us. So, of course, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome each and everyone. Doesn't matter what color t-shirt you wear a blue t-shirt, a pink t-shirt, a salmon t-shirt, a mauve t-shirt. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Doesn't matter what planet you're from Mazatanians, Venuranians, Sonaranians. Each and everyone is welcome in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And you know, we started here in the village. We always start this way. So let's go.
It have our place, WZYE, where they treat you like friends and family. So if you're looking for a place to belong, going WZYE, you could come along. If you have haste, come with me. We do have DAT on WZYE, Santa Menete.
Of course, that was written by one and only, one of a loyal follower here to WZYE 95.9 FM. No other than the love doctor, the one and only one. No other than Rennie Mohammed. Of course, let me say a special welcome to you, Rennie Mohammed. Yeah. So, folks, we have a lot to talk about tonight. I don't know where I want to start, but I'm going to start with, after I get the superlatives out of the way with the chat, I'm actually going to start tonight for the first time, I think, ever, with the opposition leader, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. And I'm going to get into that, especially the quote by Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, "Lie them up." And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am in full agreement with Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Yes, lie them up. Folks, there is something called the utilitarian approach. And in the utilitarian approach, it talks about consequences for your actions. There are negative consequences and there are positive consequences. I've always told my kids, there are consequences for your action. But you see that statement by Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, lie them up, especially them bandits? Yes, I believe in lighting them up. No, let me say this. I do not believe in stand your ground, because we here in the United States of America understand the effect of stand your ground on people that look like me. And if you put that in Trinidad and Tobago, there could be great problems. Significant problems. And one of the problems here, drawback to stand your ground in this country, is the racial part of stand your ground. And the last thing you want is to have stand your ground in Trinidad and Tobago. You will have the Casa Doctrine. It's more applicable to Trinidad and Tobago because, of course, your castle is your home and you have to defend that by any means necessary. If you want to take it upon yourself to come into my castle, I have to defend my family by any means necessary. And not only that, but I will light you up. Yes, light them up. You are bandit and you want to take out my family. I can't go into your brain and figure out whether you're going to come in and you go just want to rob we. I don't know what you want to do. I absolutely don't know what you want to do. So before I take it in front and I lighten you up and I emptying it on you too. Yes, I emptying it. And you know what, folks? Whatever the consequences are after, I will deal with that consequences. Let me say this. I'd rather be alive and in jail where my family could come and visit me than to be 6 feet under where my family have to bury me and my family. Let me repeat that. I'd rather be alive and in jail than for my family to have to bury myself and my family 6 feet under and for there to be mourning for the loss of my family. Yes. So you know what? You take it into your own hands. Mrs. Kamala Prasad said you are absolutely correct. Light them up. Empty the clip on them. Yes. You know what? And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, that will send a message to the bandit and them. You know what? If you want to go over there and try to violate them people, there's a great possibility you will get lit up. Lit up. And I go play some videos for you with a constable and all of them. Yeah. You know, when you get into that situation and your family is in jeopardy, light them up. Well, I have to agree with Ms. Kamala Prasad Processor. I don't agree with Sanya Grong, but I agree 100% with Mrs. Kamala Prasad Processor to light them up. Yes. Yes. And that's my short editorial for today. Light them up. And it goes send a message to bandits on them. And all this city quote in the back. Let me read that for you. I get that somewhere from on social media today. I want to read that quote because it is very important. Very important. Let me read it for you guys. The quote says, if violent crime is to be curbed, it is only the intended victim who can do it. The felon does not fear the police, and he fears neither judge nor jury. Therefore, what he must be taught is to fear his victim. Let me repeat that for you. And that's the quote in the back, right back there. It says, if violent crime is to be curbed, it is only the intended victim who can do it. Yeah, the victim, you come, you want to violate me and my family, I go light you up. The felon does not fear the police. Them bandits and them fear the police. And he fears neither judge nor jury. Therefore, he must be taught to fear. Therefore, what he must be taught to fear is his victim. Here we go. So let me go to the chat. We start early tonight. Yeah. We start early. So, of course, first in the village tonight was no other than Takesha. Yeah, Takesha was in first. Takesha says, good night, everyone. Takesha says, Diana the Storm. Yeah, Diana got purple emojis. Yeah, Takesha. Takesha, like your phone back up and running, girl. Takesha says, good night, Tommy. Tommy gets some blue emojis. Good night, Ansem. Yeah, I get red emojis. Yeah, red. I love red too bad. Hey, red. Red wine. Yeah. Takesha said, Nadia, Carice, Lana, Rose, Miss Coover, Judy, Denise, Erica, John. Good night. Albert, Ulrich, Ellis, Hailey, Capiza, Richard, Ken, Ravi. Yeah. Capiza says, excuse me. Takesha says, only love in the village, no room for hate or negativity, just love. Yeah, and she get all the different color emojis, boy. All the different colors, all of them. All. And here's Dr. Love. Dr. Love says, good evening, brothers and sisters. Love in the house, great love is all I bring. Respect to the panel, Mr. Wards, Lady Diana, and Mr. Tommy. Sending out respectable, lovable, responsible love to all the ladies. Yeah. Bonnie Roberts says, good evening, Takesha. How are you, my dear? I miss you on Monday. Hope all is well. Bonnie Roberts says, good evening, Nadia, Joan, Hailey, and the Storm. Blessings. Okay, here we go. Here is Rennie Mohammed. Dr. Love. Election is in the air. Red walking there and yellow over here. Everybody want to know who voting for who. You're asking me, I asking you. Whosoever win, hope they do a good job with Trin. Santi Manite. All right. The man going election 2 years, boy. You think it's easy? All right. I think Nadia using her daughter phone as well. Yeah. Good night, everyone. Yeah, Nadia. Nadia using her daughter phone. Good night to you. Nadia said she was first. Nadia said she was first. You know, Nadia, hold on, Nadia, I see 556 here with Takesha. I don't know how. I think I sent it out about that time, But I had to check that to see what's going on. She says she phone giving trouble. Good night, Aunt Sam. Good night to you, Nadia. Mean Jean says, good evening, Wall Street, Tommy and Diana. Hey, look, Anderson come back, boy. Anderson know his story, partner. But like, I just forget who's Anderson's wife, Is that Kyria, boy? Is it that Kyria? I might be getting Anderson somebody else's wife, yes? But anyway, Anderson, welcome back. Anderson, full-fledged, boy. Yeah? Wall, Skinny, and Old Age. What is that one? Alvin Singh, boy. I mean, Daika Pizza. Yeah, Daika Pizza. People that look like you. All right. Here comes Mean Gina again. Wall Street, that was a responsible comment by Kamala. Research law. What law is there to research? What law is the research? When you come in and want to violate my family, I must sit down there and wait for you. Light them up. I must sit down there and wait for you. Somebody break into your house. Somebody come in your yard and going in your car. How do you know what's next? You know what's next? Boy, listen, I am willing to suffer the consequences of my actions to defend my family. I'd rather be able to go to jail and live. Even if I pick up soap, I'll go pick up some soap bars. That is all right. But when I'm 6 feet under, I can't pick up nothing. Nothing for me to pick up. I can't even bend down. Nothing for me to pick up. So you know what? I'd rather be alive and could pick up the soap bar. Yeah, that's all right. At least I could pick up the bar. But when I'm under, yeah, I glad finally somebody send them bandits and them a message. Send them a message. Light them up. As a matter of fact, let me go here. Light them up, boy. Yeah? What is? Them feel them alone bad? Eh? Is them alone bad? Well, no. They're going to be looking behind their back because they don't know if when they come, they're going to get light up. Listen.
We will have the stand your ground laws so you can defend yourselves when the criminals.
Yeah, I do not agree with stand your ground laws. Let me make that absolutely clear. And I have explained why I do not agree with stand your ground laws because I live in a country where stand your ground laws that take out people like me. And there are many that look like me who have lost their lives because of stand your ground laws. I don't agree with that, but I agree with light them up.
We will have the stand your ground laws so you can defend yourselves when the criminals invade your homes. We will ensure law-abiding citizens have access to legal gun ownership. When the criminals invade your home, you can draw your licensed firearm and light them up. Empty the whole clip.
Light them up. Clip. Yeah. You want to come and you want to violate near my family? I'm waiting for you. Come. Hello, Diana. Welcome. How are you?
What's going on? Fireworks in the village? What's going on?
Because lighting them up. I want to light them up.
Are we at OK Corral now?
No, not OK Corral. You want to come and violate my family? You want to jump over my fence? You want to thief my car? I don't know what you're going to do next.
Tombstone.
you jump over the fence and you're going by my car. I can't go into your brain and know what you're gonna do next. I don't know what you're gonna do next. So you know what? You know what? If I had to suffer the consequences of going in jail, I'd rather go in jail and my family are alive and they could come and visit me in jail. Let them come because listen, I'd rather them visit me in jail than to go and finish that tombstone in the cemetery. Which one would you rather? Which one you rather? Mean Gene, which one you rather? You rather your family come and visit that tombstone, or you rather them come and visit you in jail because you save your family? Which one you rather? Well, that is not the law. That's irresponsible comment by Kamala. Research the law. I don't research no law. I don't research no law. You want to come and take, you want to be a bandit? Jump over and come. I will light you up.
Whoever.
We
are okay. Gunfight at OK Corral.
Yes, gunfight at OK Corral. Yeah? Yeah? You go think twice about coming and jump over the fence after. Plenty of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah? Lord. Oh, yeah. Lord.
But I want to play this one for you. Let me play this one for you. A cop. This is a cop, a police. A police of all people. Let me play Kamala Prasad this aside.
We will have the stand your ground laws so you can defend yourselves when the criminals invade your homes. We will ensure law-abiding citizens have access to legal gun ownership. When the criminals invade your home, you can draw your licensed firearm and light them up. Empty the whole clip.
Empty the clip. Eh? In this day and age, how much we just barely talk about murders in Trinidad in this program, you know. Right? How much murders they have in Trinidad and Tobago and home invasion and all kind of thing going on in Trinidad?
I know you had to pull Google the police report, so I don't know.
Yeah? And you telling me that is an irresponsible comment? Look. Right? Listen, when you come, there's a choice. It's either you or it's me and my family. Because I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. I can't go into your brain and figure out that you're going to say, no, okay, I want you to sit there. I want you to go over there. And I want you to relax yourself. Nothing is going to happen to you guys. I'm going to be okay. You're a bandit. You're a pest. You're a bandit. You're a pest. What do us do with pests?
Kill them.
We have plenty pests. What else call them? Possum. Pests.
Raccoons.
Raccoon that has come and making all kind of trouble. Pests.
Rats.
All kind of trouble. Rats. Pests. Mouse. Pests.
I call the exterminator.
Correct is right. You had to bring in an exterminator for them. So, but you know what? I ain't bringing in no exterminator. I'll go exterminate you for myself.
Why?
I got the exterminator. Yeah? But you have to follow the law, and the law say this, and the law say... Why they don't follow the law? Why the bandits don't follow any law? Yeah? And listen, I understand there are consequences to my actions. I'm going to make it absolutely clear. I understand that. And I know I could end up in jail. I know I got to bend down and pick up the soap. I'd rather bend down and pick up the soap every day. And I'll pick up 2 soap if you want to pick up 2 soap. 3, 4. Any amount of soap you want to pick up. But when I'm down there, under 6 feet under, I could pick up anything. And you can pick up anything when you're down there?
No.
Where you can pick up?
Maggots.
There you go. You go pick up some worms. That's where you go pick up. Worms. Yeah, mean genius. Worms you go pick up when you're down there. Talking about that was irresponsible. I come in. Kamala, but research the law. Me and research no law. I lighten you up. That's what it is.
And they going in business places and just walking in there. You can't go to work in peace. You can't go to work in peace.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah. Funny. Could you imagine seeing your father watching your wife or daughter being raped by them pests on them? I'll lighten you up before I come to that. I go in jail. All I understand the utilitarian approach says you have to understand the consequences of your actions. I understand it. I understand it. Yeah? I understand it. Let me play Kamala Prasad Besesa again. I want to play she again. Yeah. Yeah.
We will have the stand your ground laws so you can defend yourselves when the criminals invade your homes. We will ensure law-abiding citizens have access to legal gun ownership. When the criminals invade your home, you can draw your licensed firearm and light them up. Empty the whole clip.
Why?
What? All you go see how crime go down in Trinidad. All you go see how quick them bandits and them stop being bandits and just being dits. They ain't gonna be bandits. There's just dits now. No bandits no more. Reduction of bandits in Trinidad and Tobago. We have over 600 and something murders last year. What the TTPS doing to reduce crime? What it is? What Fitzgerald's doing? What Dr. Chaos doing? What are they doing? What are they doing?
I can tell you what they're doing.
What are they doing? Tell me.
They bring the king of Ashanti.
Or to spend money. How much money they spend on that king? How much money they spend for that big? We go show that one just now.
They bring the king of Ashanti. Put in front of the people. Look, all they want a king. This is a king. How a king is.
And Diana, this has nothing to do with politics, eh? This is no politics, eh? Because I bigging up Kamala Prasad Besesa, she's at UNC. That's right for Trinidad and Tobago. That's right.
Hey, she's a Trinbagonian.
Well, no, but she's politically there.
She's a Trinbagonian. I don't know that UNC, wherever. I don't care.
Most people from the PNM
say now she can say such a thing. You ain't see Eugene? You ain't see Eugene comment? You see it? Yeah, I see it.
Yeah? Talking about law. I wonder if when your family, you're there, all your backs against the wall in there, right? If they jump the fence, eh? If they jump the fence, what's next? Do you know what's next?
Nope.
Can you go into the brain and figure out what's next?
Nope.
Can anybody figure out, all right, let me wait to see what you go do next. All right, he jumped the fence. He playing with the car door. Let me see. What? Tropics welcome. You know what I'm doing? Judy welcome. You know what I'm doing? I lighten them up. And when I light them up, right? I go take the advice of the superintendent I was here and I go fix the scene. Yeah, man. Remember what he said? Did I remember that? You remember what he said? I go use the advice and I go fix the scene. I go fix it because dead men don't tell no tales, you know. Then bandits can't tell no tales.
Oy.
Dead bandits could tell any tales. I go light them up.
Wait. I'm saying what happened to you, boy? You ain't getting no dinner today, or?
No. My wife's starving me. That's the problem.
You need some soup. Hey, Mrs. LeBon, cook a fish broth for your husband.
Yeah, something. Yeah, boy, I lighten them up. This is one of the things I have to say. I agree with Mrs. Kamala Prasad Besesa 100. Don't take it back, Miss Kamala Prasad. Don't take it back.
Hey.
Take it back. Why?
Yep.
We country go into a failed state.
Has elements because when you're dying, you get the things that happen before you're actually dead. Dying is a process, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
We get into the point where we become in a failed state. Why light them up, eh? Look, and this is not nothing to do with politics. This is about country. Yeah.
That the one that gets shot the other day coming trying to break in the windows.
You know funny? Yeah, you know funny? I had this point in the back of my head, eh? All them government ministers have security, not only for themselves, but for their families. The kids have security taking them to school. Them don't have to worry.
Nope.
Them don't have to worry. Correct is right. But they go come out and say about, well, it is against the law. Listen, The government breaking the law. The government break the procurement law. They make a law and break their own law. If the government could break law, them is bandit too then.
Oh.
Eh? The government making laws and breaking their own laws. The government make a law for local government election, break their own law, and they have to go to the Privy Council in order for them to reverse it. Look now, man. All them people better make some sense, eh? Let me go for a break. And I want to come back 1 week. I want to listen to this song. Listen to this one. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. It's in the village. Yeah, tropics. Yeah. Maybe crime might go down now that some leaders have stated intentions. Yeah. Or let it tell it like this. Don't go and talk about if a person come in a mango, come and pick a mango in a yard, a person go pick it, and you're getting guns to one person to shoot another race and all kind of thing. Don't play the race baiting game. Kamala didn't say light up if you're black or light up if you're Indian. She didn't say that. She said,
light them up. Bandit.
Yes, a bandit. Light them up. I didn't hear she said if it's one race against the other race or anything like that. She says, you come in my house, you come in my castle. The castle doctrine, my castle is my domain. I will light you up. Yeah. Let me go for a break. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. It's Diana and Answer Me tonight. Hopefully Tommy's going to join us later. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. The most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey. The most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Mr. Trinidad, tell me what's he want. Do you just like political confusion? You criticize in the way you live, yet you can't produce an alternative. You say you against the power structure, you ain't like the opposition either. But take care, you jump out the hot water and end up in the center of the fire. Because you refuse to vote in election, but then you want revolution. You're strongly against communism. You walk out on colonialism. You stay with William had to go, but who to replace him? You ain't know. So to make a long story short from in front, Trinidadians really know what they want. My friend, if you don't want democracy, opposition is guerrilla activity. If you don't want democratic improvement, you have to want a revolutionist government. And yet when Guy Harewood went in the hills with Jennifer Jones, you let them get killed. All you're doing is grinning and skylarking. You come like the ass in the lion's skin. Because you say Robinson is a traitor. You say what's than that about Ranger. You say Kamal seeking his own interest. You call Millet a Marxist Leninist. You are ODAC, neither DLP, and you say DLM is only ratchetly. When you time up yourself, I won't tell you why. Trinidadians just like plenty mama guys.
And of course, we are back with you. It's in the village to the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come there every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. You know, the sad thing is that, sir, in that, oh, I want to play this. Let's listen to this this police officer. Let's listen to this police officer. Let me get rid of this one here. I want to listen to this police officer. Let me see. Yeah. This is the constable, right? And listen, me ain't telling people to go and break no laws, you know. But if you jump over the fence and you're on my property, what are you coming to do? What are you coming to do? Eh? I mean, Diana, you may disagree with.
But no, I'm not disagreeing. You know, but I like I tell you, I live alone. I have certain things in my house. If you try to come in here, I'm gonna fix you, and then they can figure out what it is you was doing here, right? But you know, I hope they don't. Let's say somebody jump over. You have scenarios, you know, the house on fire. They say they want to help the person. You know what I'm saying. So it depends on the night, the day, the wherever, the time. If your intentions are nefarious, you should have the right to defend your home and your family. That's
it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Light them up. Empty the clip. But prepare to make a jail. Why you say that, Constable Aki? Stop. Let me start over. Assalamu alaikum. Why you say that, Constable Aki? One who has a firearm user's license or is trained with the use of a firearm should be competent in the use of force policy. Some may think having a firearm is the answer. Having a firearm gives you a fighting chance. Having a firearm also handicaps you because your life has now changed. When you are issued a firearm, whether it's a keep and carry, whether it's your work FUEC or whether you are a fuel holder, you have now subjected yourself. You're looking at a jail cell. Because common assault, negligent discharge, failing to properly secure a firearm, transfer of a firearm, these things come a dime a dozen. And there's something called a gun jumbie. There is a gun jumbie. When you have a firearm on you, some people, not all, they act as though they are the trigger and they have now become invincible. And these things carry unwanted problems. Yes, as a police officer, I understand home invasion, larceny motor vehicle, robberies on a rise. However, if somebody enters your home and you are a licensed firearm holder and you hit them 30, bet your bottom dollar the next thing you have to do after you hand over your firearm and your FUL book to the investigator, and yes, it is something you have to do after a shooting, whether fatal or non-fatal, you have to submit your firearm to go back to forensics. That's another topic for another day. Having shot somebody 30 times, you would have now opened yourself to the realm of the use of excessive force. So anybody who is proficient with a firearm or who has been handling firearm for years would tell you, when you pull out that gun and you're aiming to shoot, be very proficient and maximize on that which you're letting go.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay.
That's
What was the message I supposed to? But obviously, when you get a firearm, they go train you in it and blah blah blah. I mean, huh?
and anyway, let me don't say that.
Oh God, Father, give us a break.
telling you. Let's add Dr. Mohammed. Dr. Mohammed, welcome. How are you doing?
Jeez.
Good evening from Clownland.
Okay. Oh boy.
Bueno, start this. ¿Cómo está usted?
No muy bien.
No,
Now, Dr. Mohammed, I am being honest. A lot of people have been saying that. As a matter of fact, let me tell you what. Let me go back to what Eugene said. Did you hear what Eugene said?
Just now, the fire. I know. I thought you was going to tell me
irresponsible statement.
I thought you were going to tell me everybody bad talking, man.
Irresponsible statement.
Yeah, let me go back to Mean Gene's statement. Look, oh, here it is. Mean Gene says that was an irresponsible comment by Kamala, research G-Law. Now listen to this. I have made this absolutely clear. I understand in the utilitarian approach, there are consequences for your actions. I understand that. But I have stated, I rather be alive and able to go to jail and my family could come and visit me in jail than for all of us to be 6 feet under and my other families had to come and visit me and my family in the cemetery with some tombstones. That's my thing. Because if you gonna jump somebody's fence, I don't know what your intentions are. I understand the law. I don't know what your intentions are. Yes, the gun was registered to the husband. Yes, I understand all of that. But you know what? What about the bandit?
Where he got? Who he gun registered to?
I don't think
who he gun registered to. That's why I want to know.
But I know, Dr. Mohammed, you have to be more conservative.
On TV6 in the morning, yes.
I like how you laugh about that. You know what I mean? But when you come in the village, I speak truth to power. And I believe that. So let me ask this question, Dr. Man. Let me ask this question to you. What messages have we been sending to bandits in Trinidad and Tobago? Even just an idea that, boy, there's the possibility, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What has given any bandit this just to think in the back of their mind? You know, there's just the possibility.
This person has a firearm.
Just the possibility. What do you say?
I say, in the absence of an effective and efficient process by which, let me say this properly, because I need to get this done. In the absence of a proper system that allows persons to fairly acquire a firearm license, people will have to resort to whatever means necessary to defend themselves. And if that means that they have to have a cutlass by their door or by their bedhead or wherever
some acid.
Diana, it could be whatever people need to have in order to defend themselves in a country that is riddled with bureaucracy and myopic political leadership, then I think I could say this on this platform. What the hell do you expect people to do again?
And that's what I say. What do you expect people? And a police officer will come and tell me, well, you think you're going to make a jail? You might end up making a jail. I say, listen, I already talked about that. Because I rather make a jail and my rest of family outside in order to live and see another day.
No, well, it goes beyond that. I don't understand. There are several questions that has to be asked. And again, I will ask the question, what really and truly do you expect our society to do when they are under the siege of miscreants.
Mm-hmm.
And miscreants is a word that um, people don't like to hear, but it is what it is. We have, let me tell you something. We have 1.4 million people living in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And maybe, let's just say 10%, 5%, let's say 5%, could be 3%, make up the miscreants that are terrorizing the nation.
Correct. Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We will allow 3%, and I'm being cautious with the percentage. We will allow 3% to give us a terrible international reputation. We will allow 3% of people to obstruct our livelihood and our way of living, our freedom of movement, our what people don't realize are our human rights, our constitutional rights, because we have an incompetent government and we have a government that does not want to act um, assiduously and proactively as it pertains to fighting crime, and where we have to ask the question as to whether institutions of the state have now become beholden to the political directorate, then we are um, no different from any other country or nation that is creeping towards authoritarianism, because a lot of people like to make the um, comparison to Venezuela. But I will say this: the very same hotel that I stayed in Venezuela when I went to do some research there in 2018. Is it 2018? Yeah, 2018. That cost me to stay for 5 or 6 days. Cost me 3,000 TT dollars. With a plane ticket that cost me $1,500. That very same hotel for 1 week is now $12,000, and the airfare is $3,000.
Mm.
What does that say to me is that something is happening and some level of economic activity is taking place in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela,
Mm.
because there are now chartered flights have returned from Port of Spain to Margarita. I have seen videos of persons going to resorts that are very sophisticated and have all the amenities and all the drinks and food to eat and whatnot. So there's activity, economic activity going on in Venezuela.
Mm.
Um, and yet, President Maduro is up for election in 2024.
Hmm.
Whether he wins or doesn't win, he's also making strides because he went to the South America. He went to South America the other day. He went to Brazil. He was invited by President Lula to be part of the meeting of Latin American heads of state, much to the protest of some. But President Lula said, "Is he not? Is he not part of Latin America, and is he not a head of state? And why should he be excluded from the meeting of minds?" We saw Prime Minister Motley fly to Caracas and establish bilateral agreements and all of that with Venezuela. So there's some diplomacy happening.
Mm-hmm.
We had a flurry of activities with the Americans coming into Port of Spain a couple weeks ago, um, from the uh, Secretary of State to the um, Hakeem Jeffries, and you name it, they were in Port of Spain, right? We are, as we speak, Tomorrow there's an emergency sitting of the High Court as it pertains to the status of illegal migrants and their deportation status in Trinidad and Tobago. But through the partnership with the Venezuelan embassy here in Port of Spain, we are repatriating people who have entered Trinidad and Tobago illegally. What am I saying all of this to say? I'm saying all of this to say that we want to compare Port of Spain and Trinidad and Tobago to Venezuela. But there's a level of prosperity that is taking place in Venezuela. Venezuela is a huge country. Cities are prospering. I'm not saying that they don't have crime. But I am also not saying that Toronto does not have crime. You put on the TV in Toronto and you listen to CBC in Toronto, you wonder whether or not it is the same Toronto that many Trinidadians are flocking to establish a new life. There's crime taking place anywhere in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
But I could still read somewhere, whether it be Texas or wherever else, that somebody has been executed by the state for committing a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we have not implemented the death penalty since 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And it begs to ask the question, what is keeping us from implementing the death penalty? And the simple answer is political will. Mm-hmm. Another thing, you see, if I speak too much about certain matters, and at the risk of people saying, well, good, Alvin, Vietnam, Hanoi has no crime. We need to figure out why. Saudi Arabia has very little crime as well. We need to figure out why.
Chop off your hand. Right.
Correct. Right? We need to understand why these cities don't have crime. Why does Shanghai maybe not have crime? Right? And we need to understand that there's a certain level of political will that must perpetuate, it must exist, it must be operational in order for us to achieve the country and to achieve the level of comfort that we want as a nation. Mm-hmm. But when I listen to the news or I read an article, I don't want to know what is the cost of Dr. Rowley's red watch that he was wearing last night or the night before. What nonsense is that?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree with
I
that.
don't care whether Kamala had on a pair of Gucci shoes or whatever. Kamala has been in politics for 30 plus years. By now, she could more than afford one pair of Gucci shoes, right? Who gives a rat's about it? Why is those things matter? Why are those things a part of what we are reporting on the news? Why are we as a society discussing the man's watch?
But Dr. Mohammed, and this is part of the problem I just have, right? At least if you're going to discuss the watch, at least get the numbers right.
Oh God.
Do a little homework.
No. I don't care whether it is I don't care about the watch.
No, I understand that.
And the cost of the watch, even worse, if you're minding people's business, mind it the right way.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you put $1.2 million or you put $600,000,
is it not laughable?
It is just mind-boggling. And all it takes, it's a quick Google, put the name in Amazon, and you could find the watch right there. The most the watch is going to cost is $600 US.
You see.
And I'm sure he could afford that. And I don't hold no brief for the RPNM. Everybody knows that.
No, but listen, he's as not that he could afford it, at his age, at his level of accomplishment, he's entitled to buy whatever he wants. And that doesn't apply to only Rowley. It applies to Kamala as well. But You know, when we come here and we discuss about new political party and new leadership, new vision, new hope for the country, and all of that, in my mind, I could take all of those hopes and plans and prospects and just put it on a piece of paper and flush it down the toilet and say Trinidad and Tobago is not ready yet. And they don't seem to be ready or will ever be ready for the next 30 years. Because I don't care how much people it have in San Fernando tonight at Palms Club. I don't care if it's a pack room. I don't care if it's overflowing. I don't care if the OWTU walk in. Come the 15th of August, we still have to deal with the PNM. And the incompetence of the PNM and the bacchanal that will ensue if the UNC does not win the local government election is imminent. And if people want to not understand that and want to get caught up in the glitz and glamour of people and numbers, then only not serious. Only not serious. I am not saying that I take Kamla's statement wholeheartedly and swallow it, because whoever wrote that speech is a dunce, or whoever wrote that portion of the speech is an absolute dunce, because I have a serious problem with a leader of this country saying, what, empty the clip?
Light them up, empty the clip.
Light them up, empty the clip? Who's she talking to? Who is she? What audience? What audience is she appealing to? Not mine.
But Dr. Mohammed, I got to be honest with you. You know, I'm very honest. I'll be honest with you. Due to the climate in Trinidad and Tobago, and due to people living in fear, right? I could deal with a statement like that from Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
I cannot. You know why?
Yeah, I could.
I cannot. Let me tell you something. It is not what you say. It is how you say it. And at the same time, she fell short in the statement because she should have been asking questions about FUL license, the process, the procedure. The same thing that video before I came on, the video you was playing about, why is it that when a licensed firearm user uses his gun or her gun and fires a shot, why is it seized? And for if it is, even if the law stipulates that it is seized, why does someone take so long to get it back? So you're taking away a licensed firearm from someone, leaving them to defend themselves with nothing, and they may very well have the potential to become victims of crime. That making sense? That's like you're putting out your hamster on a wheel and you're making the hamster run, but the poor hamster know where he going to because he really going to nowhere.
But this is what I got out of that statement, and I put myself in the shoes of that person, and I don't know what that bandit's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do.
You don't.
And I agree with she. I'm
a bandit,
light them up and empty the clip, and I could deal with the consequences after. If I don't go to jail, I rather my family be alive and 6 feet above than to be 6 feet under, and that'll come and visit my tombstone every year.
And Slim, you need to understand that you are speaking in a very passionate manner, and I accept that, and I understand your frustration like everybody else. But unfortunately, in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the law is an ass.
Okay, I could understand that.
And in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, unless we don't start acting and getting prepared to change the way things are, then we are going to constantly have discussions like these that nobody is going to answer. Somebody going to say, read the law. What does the law say? Well, the law does say you have a right to defend yourself. But the law also say you have a right to defend yourself within reason. So if a man enters your house and he doesn't point a gun, you have no right to shoot him, but you can chop him.
Or somebody give me an example. What if a man running from somebody else and you run
Yep.
in your house.
Well, no, if you run in your house,
Yeah.
let me tell you something.
But-
When I was younger,
Eh.
because my street in Princeton is one of the main thoroughfares in Princeton, right?
Mhm.
We have streets that are parallel to each other that that actually and that actually are it's my street is just off of High Street. So this is High Street, this is my street, and all the streets that run parallel. I remember very clearly a bandit running from police, running through a bamboo patch from one street, running across the bamboo patch, jump the big drain that pushes out all of the water out of Princeton, runs up the hill towards my house, past my mother's street, and jump over the wall and went his merry way. And all he says, "Excuse me, ma'am." Let me tell you, you think that could happen? That was probably about 25 plus years ago, right? But you think if that could happen today in Trinidad and Tobago, that person who's running through somebody's yard can't make a pit stop, he have to continue running. But if he make a pit stop, he had to know that if he make it a pit stop, there are going to be consequences to that pit stop. The problem that every citizen encounters is that the law says that we have to defend ourselves within reason. So if a man does not have a gun, you can't shoot him. If a man has a cutlass,
he coming in my yard trying to break in my house, and because you don't have a gun, how I know you don't have a gun?
unless you see a gun, unless the man announces a gun, pulls out a gun and points it or shows it up, only then they're giving you the right to kill him.
Okay,
But if a man walks in your house with a cutlass or a bottle, you can shoot him, but you're not shooting to kill, you're shooting to disable and to disarm.
Okay, but that was my question I was going to ask you. So I see him trying to break into my my
You
residence.
break his hand, you bust his knuckles, you
I can let go a shot in the tail too if that's all. If I'm a license.
Your leg a warning shot and probably hit him in the knee, but you can't kill him.
Okay, well, we ain't gonna kill him. I go aim properly to make sure that his bandit days come to an end.
But of course, yes, Tropics, you're right, and I just said that.
So you can't. I ain't gonna kill you. I go maim you. I go shoot you in the hand, the foot, the knee, all them kind of things. You can't.
The word defense and the right to defend oneself against an intruder has now become a part of the law that does not exist.
So let me ask you something, Dr. Shane. If I wake up as a single woman in my house, I'm a licensed firearm, you inside my house, it may just me, I ain't give you no key, I don't know you. I don't have the right to shoot you and kill your tail?
You have the right to shoot. But if the man come in without a weapon.
And how am I supposed to ascertain that?
Yeah, well, part of your training is judgment, good judgment.
Well, I don't know if you, but that law need to change.
We have been told all of a sudden a knife could appear in his hand.
And if a knife appears in his hand, you have to shoot him. You have to disable him.
So wait now. So if I shoot him somewhere, not to kill him, but he eventually succumbs to the injury I inflicted upon him, I in trouble?
Business. No, how you be in trouble? You didn't shoot him to kill him?
All right, good. That's all I want now.
You see, let me tell you something. There's going to be lawyers that are going to say Mohammed wrong because he's not a lawyer. And there are going to be people who will say that if you don't know the law, hush him out, right? But you see, law and politics, people need to differentiate between law and politics. Politicians is what make the law. Politicians are the ones that come together to decide what is the law that is needed. The majority of persons that are in the parliament or in a government may not be lawyers, but they get legal advice, right? But Mian Jean, is Mian Jean is her name?
Mean Gene. Yeah, let me put
What?
back up Mean Gene comment for you because
We
he's
call him
saying
Mean Gene.
that
Mean
you are
Jean.
agreeing. Hold on, let me put back up his comment for you because he's saying that you are agreeing with his comment. Let me put back up his comment.
Right. So what I'm saying is, and Tropics is right as well. Nina, the thing about earlier we will debate this because we are for frustrated people.
Look,
We-
Well,
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue to say. Lie them up and empty the clip. Mean Gene said,
well,
Wall Street-
innocent
Mean Gene
people
said?
and Slim, innocent people
Mm.
should never be subjected to the law in the defense of their homes and their person and their families.
Good.
Now,
However,
that's why the Casa doctrine is more applicable than stand your ground laws.
I agree. And the castle doctrine is more appropriate than stand your ground.
Correct.
But I'll tell you why. You see, from a political perspective, stand your ground is a good is in let me use a business term as part of this political discussion. Stand your ground is what we will call in the business world a USP, a unique selling point. So what Kamala needs and what Kamala really is using is a unique selling point to drive home a point and to continue a discussion and a narrative that really, she really means what you are saying and what I am talking about with regard to castle law, right?
Yeah.
But castle law is not politically sexy enough for John Doe who go in and vote and the traditional voter who go in and vote on August 14th. So the best way to create to drive home the point is to stand your ground.
Yeah.
What is foolish is that the PNM has bought into the unique selling point of stand your ground, hook, line, and sinker.
You know, and that is the life of me. I cannot understand. Like there are nobody doing no research, nothing, you know.
You see,
the best doctor ready to go is talk about a man picking a mango and his one race against the next race. And I'm like, Lord have his mercy. These people
and
are
when you
bankrupt.
listen to, there's a young lady by the name of Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal, who has been given an opportunity to serve in the Senate. And the young lady seems to be the mascot of the PNM on political platforms within recent times.
I've seen her, yeah.
And she does not, unfortunately, realize that people are getting disgusted by her because she's becoming almost egotistical. And I'm putting that very lightly. But the young lady is talking about, Kamala is talking about stand your ground, stand your ground, and stand your ground. But you see, when you don't understand political science and when you don't understand politics and you don't understand strategy, right? You think if Kamala is really and truly, you see, stand your ground has two meanings in this campaign. And the stand your ground here that Kamala is using as a unique selling point is not that only stand your ground as it pertains to criminals, but she's appealing to people to stand their ground as it pertains to their opposition to the government and stand your ground in the defense of your country by voting for the United National Congress. That is what you call, I just explained to you, the realpolitik of the unique selling point. That is what I just explained to you is political theory in a practical perspective that people don't seem to understand. In fact, I don't expect them to understand because my philosophy is when you are on a platform, you begin by giving people a level of education and understanding, a prelude to what you are about to talk about, and then you could go ahead and ramage and all of that, right? But that is not what is happening. We are not having, my question is this. You are up against Dr. Rowley. You, Jack Warner, and Gary Griffith and Philip Alexander are all up against Dr. Rowley. All right, I go for the purpose of discussion. I will throw in with the man named Watson Duke, who is now aiming to be the mayor of Port of Spain.
Who's that? Who's that?
A man called
Watson
Watson
Solomon
Duke.
Duke.
Oh, okay. All
right. The thing is this: you have all. You cannot. I saw Dr. Rowley sat down, and he sat down on a fancy couch. He crossed his legs. He dressed up in a nice shirt, and he was having a dialogue. And I said to myself, why can't Kamala have a dialogue? And a real, unscripted discussion with people about what the plans are, what the perspectives are. Explain to people what you mean by stand your ground. If she means stand your ground in the way we interpret stand your ground to be as it pertains against criminals, that is up for debate. We can debate that. We can say, no, we don't agree with stand your ground. We agree with defending your home and defending your family. If you have a conversation with the people and you talk about there's a need to redefine self-defense as it pertains to self-defense against a criminal, an active shooter, an active criminal, whatever you want to define the individual as, let us have that discussion too. But all you see in is Kamala on our platform shouting to the top of her throat till she can't cough no more, trying to invigorate an audience, and then you watch the people meter, and the people meter says 73% tonight says no, they don't think an accommodation is going to change the outcome of the election. Then you have Philip Alexander, who's outside there, and I'll tell you this, I don't discount Philip. I don't understand why it is people cannot come together. Why is Philip and Gary fighting? Why does Philip and Gary have this love-hate relationship? Why does Philip have to attack Gary? You're fighting for the same cause, which is a better Trinidad and Tobago. What you all are doing are making life for people even harder. Because you know what could very well happen? In a local government election, 200 votes matter. Because at smaller electoral districts, it is smaller voting populations. When you have 3 people inside that they're fighting for an electoral district, and let's just say the margin of error with regard to vote numbers is 250 votes, and Philip come and take 200 votes. Who knows? Good evening, everybody. Who knows? He may have taken 200 votes, get no seat, get no alderman, and open and pave the way for the PNM to walk through. Or he made an inroad, but he did nothing. He went nothing. And then when you add the numbers up, if they had come together as one body, collectively, they could have won. Instead of winning 7, they could have probably won 10 or 11 corporations. But the bottom line is this. The divisiveness that exists in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago makes the job of any aspiring leader, except for Farley Chavez Augustine, very difficult. Because nobody wants to trust anybody anymore. Watching the OWTU point, the OWTU has now decided that the OWTU has chapters. The OWTU has chapters. So the Point-a-Pierre chapter of the OWTU is supporting the candidates for the City of San Fernando, City Corporation of San Fernando, for the UNC. And then you have the MSJ, out of which the And one of these days I will tell you all how the MSJ was formed. But the MSJ became a political party because of Kamla Prasad Bisasa. Because prior to the 2010 general election, they were only an activist group, right? And it's only, if I'm not mistaken, they will be able to correct me if I'm wrong, and I will take that correction if I'm wrong. But part of the construction of their logo had somebody within the partnership had to help with that, right? The point is this: nobody wants to unite, and if you're not united, what will happen? We will never get the laws. We will never get the laws that we want changed. We will never get the equality that we want. We will never get the rights that we want. We will never get the systems and institutions working the way we want. We will continue to be a backward country. Our country will continue to be bled, and I use the word bled, of its intelligentsia. The country will continue to have blood on the streets. We will continue to disintegrate into something that is that resembles a Central American nation of the 1970s and 80s in 2023 and beyond. I don't know what more. Let me tell you, I am disgusted. You see, yesterday with that, you see from the start, the people started to talk about the man watch, and then they started to talk about well, you know, you could have said shoot to defend. You didn't have to say empty the clip. Because empty the clip is a gun talk that I will not subscribe to and ascribe to as a young professional. And I will not stand up on a platform and say empty a clip. That for me, it just does not resonate. It will not resonate.
You know, I have to say, listen, on a political platform in Trinidad and Tobago is open sesame. And people that say whatever they want to say, and the backlash go be for 24, 48 hours, and then move on to the next thing.
Kamla never got over. Kamla Prasad Bisasa never got over the line when she said the only pipe she knows is Bisasa own.
I remember that.
Vasan Bharat never got over dog rice. Keith Rowley will never get over email gate.
But there is so much to Kamla. There's so much with Kamla, but you never know. But I to be honest with you, I cannot disagree. And the reason why I'm saying this is simple. I'm going to say this over and over. The climate in Trinidad with crime, it seemed to be a runaway horse.
It is a runaway horse, and we agree on that 100%.
There is no end no end near, and the bandits running the asylum. Yeah, the bandits running the asylum. And to me, you need somebody, because the Prime Minister wasn't doing it. The Minister of National Security wasn't doing it. The Commissioner of Police wasn't doing it. The Brigadier in the regiment wasn't doing it. The guy in charge of the Coast Guard wasn't doing it. Right? There were many of them in doing nothing. And the bandits running wild, and they do whatever they do. Every time they send a video on social media, it's some bandit running into a store, running into a person's house with their gun, either they killing them dead. Dead. And I want to echo Julie's sentiments. What she's saying. When you're back against the wall, any numbers play. I will do anything to save myself. If I have a gun, I go deal with the laws after. I am 100% for that.
I say to that, listen, I am not saying no, you know. I am saying that we should not have innocent people putting themselves in trouble when it is simple. You can hold a gun. You can own a gun. You can be a licensed firearm user. Your training tells you how to shoot, when to shoot, where to shoot. And if a man points a gun or you see a gun in a man's hand, by all means kill him. By all means kill him. If you don't see a gun, if a man who runs in your house with a cutlass, and you can pelt and damage that man with an iron pot before you level him with a cutlass, by all means. Because there are also going to be people in this country who don't have guns earlier.
Dr. Mohammed, I'm sorry.
Me too.
I'm sorry. If you're running my house,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try to go into your brain to figure out whether he is a runaway bandit, whether somebody running after you. If I have a licensed pistol, cancel Christmas. It's over for you. Cancel Christmas. Job done. We go deal with whatever it is after.
And Dr. Mohammed, I have some acid. They could figure out your identity when I done with you too.
What? Yes, when I done with you, if I had to end up, you might have to end up holding a knife if you don't have a weapon. You might end up with a knife in your hand or something. I go deal with the consequences after. And I'm saying, I know the consequences ahead of time. But anything to protect me and my family, right?
But Anselm, there are people who don't know the consequences. And that is why I'm saying what I'm saying to you tonight. I understand 100% where you're coming from, But I'm also saying that there are people in this country that are confused and they don't understand why it is, right? They don't understand why it is they are treated as if they are the perpetrators of crime when they have shot a gun and killed a man that was threatening their lives. And that is because they have the education part of this firearm user license thing has not gotten out there to the point where people understand that. So there's going to be a debate. And I am saying, the only reason I'm saying what I'm saying is that people will be informed. I am not myopic and unrealistic to the fact that that if a man runs into my house and I have a gun, I am not going to shoot him. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I will also not shoot to kill him, because you have to also protect not yourself, but your family.
And Alvin, I've never thrown acid, no, right? But bust a fella head already, for touching me inappropriately. Okay.
I have never, and let me tell you something. I'm not going to answer the question that Alvin is posing about whether or not I have held a gun, right?
But I will. You're your partner, That your partner to pizza, Your partner to pizza, You have about 5 different areas.
Yeah.
I am not going to talk. Listen, I am not going to have a conversation as to whether or not I have held a gun or fired a gun, right? Because that is irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
That's
right?
irrelevant.
The point is this. I'm having two conversations here. One, from an education perspective as to why the law is an ass and why the law has to change and why people need to understand. Why people need to understand what is happening in this country and why people are finding them innocent people. Let me make it clearly. Why law-abiding citizens and innocent people are finding themselves in a scenario where they are seen as criminals when they shoot a criminal. And therefore, the law needs to change. It has to be advocated that amendments be made as it pertains to what is the definition of the word defense when it comes to defending an active criminal or active shooter or whatever like that. That's one. At the same time, people have the right to defend themselves and their families against anyone who comes into their private property and threatens their lives and livelihoods. They have that right, whether it be by gun, a cutlass, bottle, acid, glass, you name it. And let me tell you something. If we're living in a house with louvers, pull out louvers. Louvers is cut good and it's long enough. And the edge of a louvers will slit a man's throat before he could chop you.
Ansel, Dr. Shane, hanging around you too long. Yes,
No, me and
Alvin,
Jerome,
I have
I
killed chickens, chop off the neck,
no.
and
Dice
wring the neck.
Capiza, Dice Capiza, Dice
Right, I
Capiza,
calling
JB
out the
Harper.
name. I wring the
Yeah, no,
neck
but
and I chop off the neck. All
no,
right, that's so that
you have five
easy for me
alias
to
there.
do. And let me tell you too, Dr. Shane. I keep telling you women, all you walk with a box cutter in all your bosom. The man snatch your hand, you take your box cutter and you slice him. You slice him where blood will flow. And then Fitzgerald Hines will ask you what you're doing with the box cutter. You tell Fitzgerald Hines, man, they grab you and they try to kidnap you. You cut them where it's going to bleed and hurt. If you had
Nina,
to make a jail, you live in.
Nina Gill, let me tell you something. I am sorry to read what I am reading from you here, but I will say to you, you have every right to feel the way you feel, and you have every right to act the way you want to act. But I am saying to you, there are many things that is available. There are many things. And someone who has experienced what you have experienced, I am saying to you, if I were in your position, I would very well do the same thing, because we are living in a godforsaken country with broken rules and uh, um, uh,
Dr. Shin,
very unempathetic politicians and leaders.
right. I don't want to cut you off, but hold up. JB Harper said it can also be perceived differently depending on what ethnic group you come from, right? Explain that a little bit more, JB Harper. Dr. Shin, you know,
JB, that's they're going down a kind of road there, boy.
yeah, I was trying to figure out
Answer him.
what, eh?
I don't care what race you are.
I
You
don't care
in
either.
my house
I
and I
don't
ain't give
care.
you no key
Let
and
me
I
tell you
don't know
something.
who you are.
And
I'm going to deal with you. I don't care
I
what
don't know if it's
race
a
you is.
PNM, if it's a
I don't
UNC, if it's
care.
a PDP, boy, you come in, boy, Christmas over for you.
Let me
Right?
let me tell you all something.
Hmm.
In my family, one of my cousins is a pest. Has been a pest all of his life. And I would have thought, because he um, procreated and somehow became a father, I would have thought that the joy of fatherhood would have kicked in, and that the individual would have matured and desist from his wicked ways. Unfortunately, I came very close, very, very close to, and I guess it has to do with, the divine intervention and my instinct. But his father, who's my grandmother's eldest son, is a very, very narcissistical, egotistical, evil man. He stormed into my grandmother's house, the young man. He's my grandmother's grandson. Stormed into my grandmother's house in search of my grandmother with a knife in his back pocket, capsized her kitchen table, went into her bedroom to look for her, and God alone knows what would have happened had he found her. All because his father told him that the house that my grandmother is living in, of which the deed has her name on it, belongs to him. And I will say more, the police station that he was reported to never acted, because the police station is very much enjoying an extra remuneration package. Right? So, had I been there, I would have probably licked him down. I would have probably taken something from the kitchen and hit him with it. I cannot tell you what I would have done. In the past, when he has entered into the house, we have had a confrontation, and I did grab a knife, and to the pleas of my grandmother and my mother, I dropped the knife, and we had to throw him out of the house physically. But So I understand that, and we always said he will meet it. I understand he was in some accident and his legs were badly broken. Hopefully he doesn't walk for the rest of his life. But when you are met with miscreants and you have to defend yourself, I will say you have to defend yourself. You have to do what you have to do. Unfortunately, we have entered into a debate where the authorities that are in power are deaf to for the lack of a better word, the cries of our people. And the cries of our people is, why should innocent people have to face the law when all they have done is defended themselves?
Correct is right.
And that's the bottom line,
Yes, so Dr. Mohammed, hold that right there. We're going to go for a quick break. And when we come back, Dr. Mohammed, we want to talk about Dr. Devon Mirage, how it's like the statements that he made, which I just totally disagree with. And it just seemed to me that, yeah, listener, I ain't holding no beef for Mrs. Kamala Prasad Besessa. Beef. I ain't holding no brief for Miss Kamala Prasad. Oh God! I actually say beef. I ain't holding no brief for Miss Kamala Prasad Besessa.
Hey,
yeah.
Brief has many meanings, so be careful.
No brief, like a suitcase, not like a
Hear what I say.
He ain't
Brief.
holding no papers.
Well, I can tell him that, doctor. Say so. Don't say brief. Brief is something else too.
I don't know papers. Let's go for quick station identification. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Mr. Trinidad, tell me what's he want. Do you just like political confusion? You criticizing the way you live, yet you can't produce an alternative. You say you against the power structure. You ain't like the opposition either. But
we are back with you. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Now, let me just get through the chat here for a little bit. Judy says, crime against innocent citizens have absolutely no race. Full 100. No race. When you come through the door, I don't care if you're a green man from Mars. Right? You're getting light up. I had nothing to do with. And Judy, we understand what you went through. And we fully understand that. And Judy says, Dr. Shane Mohammed, I detest how Philip Alexander and Gigi consistently going after each other like Jamets on Nelson Street. Gigi and Philip Alexander could take the nation by storm without UNC.
No, they can't. No, they can't. You see, the problem with it, Judy, the problem with it is that they consistently can't seem to meet a middle ground. They have a love-hate relationship. And the love-hate relationship that they are is like a popularity contest. It's like two beauty queens going after the same crown. So they're trying to outdo each other. And they need to understand that the egos need to come down so that the vision and the philosophy could manifest, so that they could meet each other in the middle. But neither one wants to do that. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
I,
Richard
it, does-
Rambis.
it does make sense.
Yeah. Tropic says, I do not like Kamala comments either, but this is what needed to get national security apparatus to move. Judy says, Dr. Mohammed, I mean, if they had that unity support for each other.
Gil, I am hoping, you see, political practitioners believe they know more than political scientists. And we had we had a little bit of a banter the other day, Gary and I, because
you say something about him that you didn't like?
No, I didn't say anything about him. I have never said anything. I told him that. I said, you've not given me any reason to say anything about him.
I'm a partner now, you know. Me and
If
you
he
partner.
no, that's what I said to him. I said, as far as I know, we've always been friends. And if I have an issue, I will pick up the phone and call you and say, well, X, Y, and Z is the case. But people get very caught up in this political high that they believe that they are magic men and women, and by their presence they could get people who have been voting PNM for 20 years to simply swing. You don't get people to vote for you by just simply showing up. Tobago has shown that you get people to swing and to vote for you when you articulate a vision, and you articulate a position, and you articulate a framework that they could aspire for. And if I'm having a difficult time with this thing, with people continuously saying that this election that we are facing in a couple of days is a prelude to 2025. I don't even believe that all of this accommodating could last beyond the 15th of August. That's a lot of management to do. You were saying that you didn't hold a brief for Prasad Bisasa. What is the problem?
Who's that, me? Listen, but from an outsider looking in, if Jack stays the course, I believe he can hold it together.
Jack can more than stay the course, but he has an uphill battle. And unfortunately, people are threatened by his presence.
But that's what I'm saying. If he could stay the course, they can stay together. But if not, with the kind of yellow birds flying around and vultures circulating,
and starting to pick too, starting to pick.
Well, I just know there's some vultures floating around, But Heidi says UNC is liars, PNM is liars. Nowhere I can unite with liars. As Ansem say, the mother-in-law tell him a liar has no memory. It's true. My mother-in-law always told me a liar has no memory. You know what I mean? And but with that in mind, right? I want to go to something really quick here. Let me see. Wall Street. What? All right, I ain't gonna read that one.
Jack's boyfriend name. I know I could answer that for you. Jack's boyfriend's name is Kamla Prasad Bisasa.
Oh Lord.
JP Harper says there are elements in the UNC. Well, and the UNC was not happy that Jack Warner is back. Yeah, we discussed that. Yeah, we discussed that last time, right? We talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want to read.
What did Dr. Murad say?
Yeah. I want to read that for you. So there was an article in the Newsday. Devon UNC leader exploiting people fears over crime. Former People's Partnership Government Minister Devon Marat says opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bissessa could be promoting vigilantism, vigilantism, through her controversial lie them up comment at a UNC political meeting in Shogunas on Monday. Referring to an incident when a homeowner shot and killed an intruder at a Shogunas home on July 29th, the Superior MP advised citizens, when the criminal invade your home, draw your licensed firearms and light them up. Empty the whole clip and reload too. Fight fire with fire. In a subsequent statement, Maharaj said her statement exploit the fears of most citizens and reflect the growing concern among citizens about their safety and the perceived inadequacy of law enforcement in dealing with crime. Prasad Bissessa, he continued, recklessly and irresponsibly advocate for citizen right to self-defense and call for greater access to legal firearms, emphasizing the need to protect law-abiding citizens from criminal threats. Maraj argued that the statement can do more harm than good. This is what he says now, quote, "It is essential to address the rising crime and murder rates in Trinidad and Tobago while upholding the principles of the rule of law." Let me ask a question, Dr. Mohammed. Didn't the government of Trinidad and Tobago make a procurement law and they violated their own procurement law?
No, they didn't. No.
What do you mean, no? They had to go back and amend it.
I could explain that to you.
Okay, explain that to the people. Go ahead.
So let me explain it, right?
Yeah.
Under procurement of goods and services, under the, again, this is why I say we need constitutional reform. Under the procurement of goods and services, under the various votes within the ministries, there's a three-court system. So that, for example, I need to host a cocktail reception. I'll give you a real life example. I need to host a cocktail reception for a conference of judges and justice ministers from around the world. To host that cocktail reception, I first need to find out from the minister and the PS where the cocktail reception is to be held. If the cocktail reception is to be held on the ministry, within the ministry, I need to find a space, so I find the space. I need to procure cocktail tables, tablecloths, a bar area, some sitting, some chair, maybe a couch, things to make it comfortable. I need to procure food and drinks, maybe a bar, depending on what is the requirement. Under that, let's just say the budget for this cocktail reception is under $100,000. Let's just say it's $80,000.
Why don't you use the million? Why don't you use the million?
Okay, let me say it. Well, then you want me to have a host a conference?
Yeah. No, use the million. Give
So I'm hosting a conference, right? I'm hosting a conference, and in hosting the conference costs $1,200,000. Because it has crossed the $1 million, and a PS may say to me, is there any way we can cut the $200,000 extra? Because we've crossed $200,000, $1 million, we will now have to go to cabinet, do a cabinet note, explain the conference, explain the expenditure, list it out in a budget, put it forward in a cabinet note, and have the minister take it to cabinet. When it gets to cabinet, the minister will have to make a case as to why the conference is happening. The purpose of the conference is the who's, the when's, the what's, the why's, the results, what you intend to accomplish. Cabinet signs off on it. It comes back to the PS. The PS will write a note to me that we have received cabinet approval for the cost of the event for $1.2 million. Go forward and procure. I still have to find 3 different quotations for food, for hotel accommodation, for transportation, for lunch, for drinks, as the case may be. 3 quotes, right? Under $1 million. Let's say it comes in at $990,000 for the same event. I don't need cabinet approval because I have not crossed $1 million. I may be able to engage several different small businesses who can provide the food on the conference days, provide transportation to and from the airport and to and from the hotel, depending on where the hotel is. Let's just say my ministry is on the waterfront, and we've decided that for the purposes of convenience, the guests are staying at Hyatt. We will make a case for that. We put that forward. But then let's just say within the whole cost of the 990,000, there's a cocktail reception, there's the printing of documents, the printing of a manual, the agendas and all of that. The printing, I have to go to get 3 quotes as to who comes in with the cheapest cost. Sometimes you don't necessarily go with the cheapest cost. It may be that the cheapest cost may take 2 weeks, whereas the middle cost may come in and give us it in in 3 days time. So I will write a note to the PS. Dear PS, these are please see attached the quotes for printing of material for conference. Whilst Anselm Bourne has produced the lowest cost, the time frame for which he has indicated his availability to complete the job is 2 weeks. However, Miss Diana Benskin has come in at let's just say at $5,000 or $10,000 different. However, she's indicated that she can provide the material within 72 hours. It is my recommendation that we go with Miss Benskin, and I send it off, and the PS then reads it. If she has questions, you go in, you talk to her or him, you discuss it, and then he signs off on it. So the 3-quote system helps and supports small and micro enterprises to access government, to provide government services and to do business with government without the hassle of going through a huge, a long-winded, bureaucratic process, right? That is what existed before the procurement law. Lo and behold, procurement law is drafted, procurement law is enacted, and from John Doe, who is providing lunch for meetings, to Diana, who is providing printing for conferences or meetings or whatever the case may be, are all subjected to this extremely tedious process of filling out all of these forms, which may take up to 2 to 3 weeks to provide the information that is needed. What you've done is you put a screeching halt to operations of the government and the business of the government, because not everything will be able to be provided from the government printry. We don't have a government cook in service. It's not that you could go to the school feeding program people, the dietary nutrition company again, because they've been disbanded. So you put yourself in a chokehold. So understand, and that advice would have come not only from providers of goods and services. That would have come from technocrats who would have said, but the procurement law is squeezing the government. It is putting a halt to us doing business because all of these documents need to be filled out. Therefore, the government understanding that they should revert back to the 3-quote system and revert back to what is stipulated in the public sector rules and regulations, agreed that was the best way to do it. And it was the easier way to do it.
But Dr. Mohammed,
What the Minister of Finance did say, and I agreed with, is if it is that your company, let's just say that your company is doing business continuously with the government and with more than one agency for a lengthy period of time, so for more than 6 months, then you could the government could come and say you need to register yourself as a supplier of government, a supplier of goods and services for the purposes of doing business with the government. It therefore gives you the opportunity to be inside and have a foothold. It may simply also be that you just simply come in, you're a small business, a communications department or a general administration department reaches out to you and asks you to send a quotation, and you do a quotation and you send it in. You come in at the lowest, they give you the job, they are impressed with what you do, but you don't have intentions of doing business with government again, because who knows, you may not have suffered, you may have suffered a loss, you may have broken even, or you just wanted an opportunity to see what it is like. In a situation like that, you have to take into consideration the small and micro enterprises, because there are a lot of upcoming businesses that would like the opportunity to do business with the government, but the procurement law just made it very difficult and only gave it only allowed for the big businesses to benefit. And that is not that in itself is an inequality right there. So the government erred, but they erred because they wanted to be above board. So much above board that you just didn't see this aspect of the operations, the daily operations of the government.
You know, but Dr. Mohammed, the issue here, and this is why there was Ravi Balgobin had issued a complaint against the government with respect to the drafting of an error on the procurement. Or reading from the news there now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is his statement, right? He sent a second pre-action protocol on Wednesday, which came after the finance minister, Collingwood, accepted there was a need to amend the act because it did not allow for unforeseen circumstances. And that was the circumstances regarding the summit, which the government was spending 9.9 million, 9 point whatever million, and they didn't have to answer to anybody. They could have just spent as they see fit, right? And then it goes on to say, Imbert's statement came after the UNC calling him to explain the exemption for the procurement of goods and services for last week 45th CARICOM Summit, saying the move was illegal. And that's what I was talking about. On Monday, Maharaj Attorney sent a pre-action protocol letter to the Attorney General and included the Finance Minister. He wants the court to determine whether the procurement order for the CARICOM Summit was legal. He also contends the Procurement Act was badly drafted, so the order was also illegal because it premised on a statute which contained an obvious and a clear drafting error. So my big question was, with respect to the procurement law, which it appears that the government broke. With respect to this 9 million, they could spend it anyhow. And the procurement law is to make sure that you get at least 3 bids, you say, right?
Yeah.
Right? The procurement law is one which we want transparency and accountability.
Well, so the procurement law, the procurement law also has a tendering process.
Okay.
The procurement law also has a tendering process. What the procurement law does is that it incorporates a tendering process for items that are over $1 million. So the government can institute a tendering process for the procurement of you're tendering for the procurement of let's just say the conference for transportation.
But Dr. Mohammed, they also said that they didn't know that they were going to be holding the summit because they came aware of it a few days before and they needed these vendors. So they had to go and do what they had to do and actually forget about whatever it is in the procurement, because it was more than 1 million. It was
Hold on.
over 1 million.
But you know that even though the summit on a whole cost $9 million, they could break it up. They could break it up where they procure for stuff under $1 million, so that they don't have to go through the tendering process.
Right. And here's the statement what I'm talking about. On Tuesday, Imbut said the reason for the procurement exemption, they get themselves our own exemption. They exempt themselves. The government breaking the law and saying, well, look, we could exempt ourselves from anything. Right? So the bandit government, right, breaking their own law, and then they have to go back to parliament to fix the law what they just break. So listen to this, right? On Tuesday, Imbut said, this is Imbut now, right? The reason for the procurement exemption, here the excuse now, was because foreign dignitaries, including UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, U.S. House of Representatives Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Rwanda President Paul, Kagame? Right? Yes, only confirmed their attendance a week or two before the 3-day event. He also said he signed off on an exemption of goods and services for the judiciary, which petitioned the AG for an exemption to facilitate a jury trial scheduled for the end of May. Imbut said the request came as jury needed to be sequestered, and as a matter of confidentiality, the judiciary asked for an exemption. Sequestering meant the need for accommodation, transportation, meals, and other things for the jurors. So Imbut come up with an excuse. What? And JB Harper, that's a good question. What is the sense you have a procurement law and you could make an exemption of the procurement and you rather go and talk to nobody?
Well, okay. So let me answer JP on this first, right? How will small businesses benefit from the procurement laws? Okay. A small business that is doing business with the government for an extended period of time can become registered as a government provider. So if you have a business and you do printing, which is a big part of a huge vote, right? That carries a lot of money depending on your ministry. If you are a provider of printing services, right? And you are supplying the government or a ministry or an agency with whatever, paraphernalia, reading material, booklets, whatever the case may be, banners, etc. If you are doing that over a period of time consistently, which is like 3 to 6 months consistently, up to 9 months consistently, then that makes you a government provider. And therefore, you should be registered under the procurement legislation as a legitimate government provider, because you may be accruing over $1 million in goods and services over that period of time. So for me, the 3-court system that exists under the public service rules and regulations as it pertains to how the 3-court system as it pertains to how you do business on an everyday basis is something that should not have been in the procurement legislation in the first place, because on a daily basis you don't procure things that fall within the daily operations of the state. For example, the sequestering of juries, the lunches and the snack boxes for jurors, which is something that is done. The printing of items. This a simple thing like the purchasing of a gift that you might, for example, the gift that we would have had to procure to buy to give to the foreign dignitaries that came. All of those things are sometimes one-time items, and they are bought. So, for example, you realize that we have nothing in stock because the government does not have anything in stock as it pertains to gifts and that's a what should I say? It's a shortfall in our operations because again the government doesn't operate as a business, which it should. The government should have within the Ministry of Tourism or the Ministry of Public Administration or the Office of the Prime Minister, a stockroom of gifts that are indigenous to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, that we could simply log in and say we took this pair of glasses that was made by so and so from the stockroom of the or the vault of the gift vault of the Office of the Prime Minister, to be given to King whoever, and that should be logged and recorded. That is what should happen. That does not happen. In most instances, you want to buy a steel pan, you want to buy a book, you're going to buy something from Swarovski, or you want to buy something from, as the case may be. It is not something that happens often. Now, the question is, what is the purpose if they break it up? If they break it up and make it less than $1 million, smaller businesses benefit because they get the opportunity to put in a quotation for X or Y or Z item, as the case may be. It also means that there's no tendering process. It is left to the discretion of the permanent secretary, who at the end of the day is still the accounting officer. So as the accounting officer, it's within his or her right to approve or disapprove the purchase of an item. So that if you break it up, you have more people benefiting, and in some instances, a lot of those more people benefiting are smaller businesses. And I'm talking to you all from the perspective of experience in this instance.
But Dr. Mohammed, here is my problem, right? It appears to me that was himself unto himself.
Which
right?
one?
The exemption that was given to them in order for them to do the summit. You have a procurement law, right? And you
just didn't have the time. They did not have the time.
But listen, but you exempt yourself from a
what
law.
should have happened? What should have happened? Again, a responsible opposition would have simply filed a question in the parliament through the speaker asking for a breakdown of the cost of the conference.
But to me, that's part of why the government had to also go back to the parliament and to fix the procurement law.
No, the only reason the government went back to parliament to fix the procurement law is because they made an error as it pertains to the cost of items under $1 million.
But they didn't have to fix the exemption. They had to fix the exemption because I'm reading in that thing there.
They had to go in there to.
And there was an error because
the error was not the error that everybody's talking about. Is the error as it pertains to the daily operations of the state, which pertains to the three-quote system for items under $1 million.
But it didn't have anything that the government unto itself with the exemption, because I was even reading what Saddam Hussein had said as well. You know what? We really have to spend a program on this procurement law and explain this much more, because I think we need to explain this a little more fully. Because
what has to happen to get an idea of why the Procurement Act and the procurement law is important because it aids in alleviating white-collar crime. This is the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
And transparency and accountability too.
Correct, right? But this is the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. There's always somebody going and find some loophole somewhere, right? Let's be real as well. I am never going to sell anybody on any program anybody listening to me that we live in Wonderland and it dreams and it's so beautiful and this is so perfect. No. The Procurement Act is supposed to create a level of transparency and accountability on the part of the government and to alleviate white collar crime, right? That's the first thing. What we need to discuss, though, in light of this, is when the ministers, and I was very disappointed that Kamala didn't understand this thing. I mean, as a prime minister, you have to understand this too. As a former prime minister, you have to understand it. If I understand, so hold on. As someone who has a small business, it will be welcome if they have a program on procurement alone. Your business, as a small business, so JB, in your instance, if you are, let's just say your small business is printing. I'm going to go back to printing. If you have a printery and you have you print for different organizations and different companies, and the Ministry of Tourism needs 1,000 or 1,500 Visit Trinidad and Tobago booklets for all of our embassies, for all of our embassies out there. And that comes up to $700,000, and you do a quotation for $700,000 and send it in, and your quotation is the lowest of it. It is for the communications person that is responsible for that project to write to the permanent secretary and say that JB Harper and Company has come in as the lowest bidder. The quotation, the JB Harper and Company quotation is the lowest. They are able to complete the job within such and such time, and therefore the recommendation is that we take JB Harper, we engage JB Harper and Company for the procurement of the booklets. That goes through. Permanent secretary says, I agree, or approved. It comes back to me. It says, dear Mr. Mohammed, dear Dr. Mohammed, as the case may be, your advice is noted, approved, please proceed. I then make I send an email from my official email to yours. Dear Mr. Harper, approval has been given for the procurement of 1,500 booklets from your company. Please submit the invoice and the date of delivery. And there you go.
Dr. Mohammed, I want to stop you right there. Who is to stop the the PS, from deciding which one of them small business that person is going to give that job to? Who is there for transparency and accountability since there's no procurement now, right?
The rules and regulations of the public service.
Dr. Mohammed, I have known, I'm going to tell you what I know now. I have known in certain places with certain people, in certain jurisdiction, it used to be anything 500,000 and under. I have known certain people who may not have been the lowest bidder, right? But they get the contract because the person was told to give them the contract because there's no transparency and accountability. Who is to stop that same thing from happening?
Again, there has to, so if you, in the rules and regulations of the public service, under permanent secretary, a permanent secretary as the accounting officer is liable under the law to have their homes seized, their bank accounts frozen, lose their assets if they have been found to have acted inappropriately and have acted illegally or misappropriated public funds intentionally and willingly.
So therefore,
the law that applies to the word accounting officer under the public service rules and regulations is very harsh towards a permanent secretary. And there are permanent secretaries who have been suspended on allegations of corruption and upon investigation has been exonerated. And when I say suspended, suspended for a permanent secretary to have their reputation tarnished by the word suspension, it's a big deal in the system.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, Dr. Mohammed, I wanted to go to the next point here quick. I think what we have to do is
Let me just make one. Denise is asking, who is ensuring that these laws are promulgated? The Public Service Regulation, the Public Service Commission, and the head of the Public Service.
I don't know, but that sounds like a lot of racket to me.
No, I can vouch for them because I've worked with them. I understand it. I am not saying that the current crop that they are not persons that need to have some magnifying glasses upon them, because in my opinion, I worked with permanent secretaries who knew who respected the dichotomy of public administration between what is public sector and what is political. However, under this administration, I have my doubts because I have found that persons have been appointed to positions based on their alignment with the minister.
Dr. I'll make a suggestion. I want to move on quickly. My suggestion is this, is that if you had 4 people bid, 5 people, 6, 7, 8 people, redact the company's names, put the amounts online so a person can see company A bid 200,000, company B bid 300,000, company C bid 150,000, and your bid was the highest bid. Everybody that bid can then see, they don't know who's the company, but they can see who bid, and then you know for a fact that your bid wasn't the lowest bid. But if they're just giving a winner a bid, to me, it could seem to me that nefarious behavior could happen. But let me leave it right there for now.
Look, JB said he was there for a short time at the Ministry of Justice when I was there. That's true.
You might vote in favor. You vote in favor.
No. But the thing is, the system is a very rigid one, and it is very clear cut as to there are some permanent secretaries that will say, unless, let me tell you something. I have written. It is not easy to have to, when you write something for a permanent secretary, you have to justify why, and you have to justify your how. I mean, and when I was at the Ministry of Justice, I did several conferences, right? And there were several meetings and all of that took place. And it was not an easy job. It was not an easy job because your integrity. I remember I had an argument with a permanent secretary for $1,500 TT because I omitted in my budget to cater for water, for cases of water, at the cost of $1,500. And she, listen, we got into a public spat about that $1,500. I turned around and told her, I say, you know what? Don't include it in the budget. I will buy it and I will bring it with my own money for the ministry. And I held that woman in my mind.
Look, JB, call the woman name, keep calling the woman name in the chat.
Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
All right, so listen to this, right? We have the NACTA poll. NACTA sees close fight in Sandi Grande corporations. The PNM and the UNC are locked in a close battle to win control of San Fernando City and Sandi Grande Regional Corporation in the August 14 local government election. This was the findings of a North American Teachers Association poll, NACTA, which was released on Thursday. In a statement, NACTA said its poll showed that there were close contests in several of the 141 districts up for grabs in the elections. The poll also found a very close contest for control of San Fernando and Sandi Grande corporations. NACTA said either major party could win them. In the case of San Fernando, currently held by the PNM, NACTA said the PNM has a strong lead in 4 seats, but a smaller leads in 1 seat. The UNC has strong leads in 2 seats and a smaller lead in 1 seat. 1 seat is a toss-up. Minor parties are also getting support. 3 seats are within the poll's margin of error of 5%, suggesting they can go either way. In Sandy Grande, now controlled by the UNC, NACTA said the UNC has a strong lead in 3 seats and a smaller lead in 1 seat. The PNM has strong leads in 2 seats, with 2 seats being tossed up that could go either way. NACTA added altogether 3 seats are within the poll's margin of error of 5%, suggesting they could go either way. In the case of Sandy Grande, NACTA continued, the USC has anti-incumbency working against it. The poll...
True. That is
Huh?
true. That is true.
That's true.
So hold on. Let me
Yes.
get it right. The San Fernando had me confused. In Grande, they're saying 2 seats are up for grabs, right?
The UNC has a strong lead in 3 seats and a smaller lead in 1 seat. The PNM has a strong lead in 2 seats, with 2 seats being toss-ups that could go either way.
Ain't looking too good for the PNM.
No.
No.
I disagree.
Mm.
The UNC should be concerned about.
They have a strong lead in 3 seats.
Right. So 3
And a
seats.
smaller lead in 1 seat. So let's say 4 seats.
So 4 seats, right? And
Yeah.
they're saying that 2 seats the PNM has control of.
Right, 2 seats.
And 2 seats are
being
up for grabs, right?
Okay,
Yeah, it could go either way.
I am saying that the UNC, the PNM has their eyes on 2 particular seats that the UNC currently has. Because right now it is 5-3, and it could come down to either a 4-4, with the PNM flipping 1 seat from the UNC, or it could come down to a 5-3, the PNM flipping 2 seats that the UNC currently has. So Sandy Grande is a seat to watch. What is he saying about San Fernando?
Okay, San Fernando, he says, in Sandy Grande, in the case of San Fernando, currently held by the PNM, NACTA said the PNM has a strong lead in 4 seats, but a smaller lead in 1 seat. The UNC has a strong lead in 2 seats and a smaller lead in 1 seat, and 1 seat is a toss-up.
5 and 3 is 8, and 1 is 9.
Minor parties are also getting support. 3 seats are within the poll margin of error of 5%, suggesting they could go either way.
I think it's still in the PNM's favor. The 1 seat that they're looking at is the Taruba Kokie seat. The Kokie Taruba seat. The Marabella South Vistabella seat is what the PNM is eyeing, which is what the UNC has. The Marabella West seat is what you need to watch. The Marabella West seat is a seat to watch for the UNC. So it is. I don't see San Fernando going in favor of the PNM of the UNC. I see it getting close, but not. Arima is also, JB is right. I want to see what happens in Arima because of the NTA presence there. I want to see if they could. Malabar South is 1 seat that I have my eyes on in Arima. I would Tunapuna Piako is going to be interesting. I would like to see if there's any impact from the NTA in Diego Martin. But then again, I have to sit down and look at the PEP, the PEP as well. You can't just discount them. Well, but I don't know if I'm not sure that Arima, I mean, even though it's only 6 seats in Arima, I don't know if Arima could simply just switch as drastically as it did in 2010.
So the poll also says, right, the poll continued. NACTA NACTA said anti-incumbency is higher for the party at central government, but the UNC opposition has not been successful in exploiting widespread disgruntlement against the ruling PNM. The poll NACTA continued found most voters are unhappy with local government candidates chosen by the UNC, and that happiness extends to the party MPs and senators. UNC MPs Dinesh Rambali, Anita Haynes, and Rushton Parry were identified by poll as amongst the opposition parliamentarians not disliked by the voters.
That's true.
Right, that's true. That's very true. The poll also found that the UNC alliance with Gary Griffith National Transformation Alliance and the return of its former chairman, Jack Warner, has energized traditional UNC supporters.
And the keyword, traditional.
Yeah. Well, they might never have voted, but they might vote now. They might
No, traditional voters always vote, right? But I may get a surprise if PNM supporters would not vote. Do not underestimate. Why?
But listen to this. Listen to this. NACTA observed a similar enthusiasm had not been displayed by traditional supporters of the PNM. That's totally accurate.
Agreed, but do not underestimate PNM voters.
Yeah, they don't take local election that serious.
They don't take local government elections seriously, but let me tell you something. If they believe the party is under threat, they will come out and vote.
General election. I see.
Listen, they've never lost San Juan Laventil and they've never lost Port of Spain.
Well, I think they're up for a fight this time. But let me finish this.
Not in Port of Spain.
Continuing dissatisfaction with the PNM and the UNC, NACTA continued could result in voters gravitating towards minor parties,
correct,
which are impressive support. NACTA added the majority of voters in the election appear to be casting ballots along traditional racial lines, especially in Stronghold, but there are significant split voting trends affecting both major parties, benefiting the minor parties.
Yep.
So there you have it, NACTA. And it's funny, if the poll is in favor of the PNM, the UNC people just call them a PNM group. And if it's favor of the UNC...
But I think, I wouldn't lie, I have not taken NACTA seriously for a very long time because it was never scientific. It was not scientific, but somebody maybe have spoken to him and told him that it needs to be a little more scientific in his approach. But that's what I said. That's why I said, do not discount the PEP and the effect that the PEP can have in this election. In terms of votes cast. I've looked at the PEP meetings, the numbers. I mean, again, people turnout doesn't mean that people are going to vote, right? I don't think, definitely not going to be the next mayor.
I was going to say that. Judy, stop. Judy, put that drink down. Judy, put that drink down. Put that drink down, Judy. Judy, stop drinking that. Please, Judy.
But I don't ever let me tell you something. I don't ever underestimate the PNM's election day machinery. I can say to you without a shadow of a doubt, I do doubt the UNC's election day machinery.
PNM have a machinery.
And I have seen the UNC election day machinery, and I have predicted it very well, collapse on the most important day, which was the 10th of August, 2020. So
let me tell you, I've seen the PNM machinery in work, up close and in person.
Yes.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Exceptionally so. You have to give credit where it's due. The fact that's a fact.
It's a well-oiled machine. If it's one thing, they have that done.
Yeah, they do. They have their strategy.
They have that done.
So wait now, guys. I lost.
One minute, Diana. Diana, 1 minute. 1 minute. Judy, thank you very much for putting down that drink. Go ahead.
So y'all can appease me here, right?
Uh-huh.
So when y'all say the well-oiled machine, y'all talking figuratively or literally?
Literally.
Literally.
Oh,
Literally.
so you wait now. So let me get here now. I'm gonna fix my head here. So you're telling me, and you're the expert, against the backdrop of all that's going on, the crime, infrastructure crumbling, people can't find no work, etc., etc. Right? That well-oiled machinery is going to just disregard all those elements. People will get 4% raise. I hear the nurses going and walk. The well-oiled machinery is going to disregard all that and still go and crank in favor of the incumbent.
Because what it does is that it comes down from what you it what it does is you they assign MPs to coordinate various areas. That's the first thing. So it starts at the top. The MPs and the general council begins to, it's like a pyramid. So once the MPs and the general council um, is deployed in as coordinators for different areas, they then put together teams of persons within the party groups to go out there and become the street captains and the drivers and the mobilizers and that sort of thing, which they would have started to do since the day the election was announced. They would have walked through the streets. They would have taken names and notes of which houses that are voting for the PNM, which are voting for the for the UNC, which are undecided and that sort of thing. And then on the election day, they are going to then deploy those people to become drivers, to pick up granny who cannot drive, who needs a drop. They're going to they make sure that their mock stations, the people within their mock stations are very well fed and that they are very well scheduled with regard to the shifts that they take in, and then they also put into place the persons that will be responsible for going into the into the uh, into the different stations to count votes. So it's a whole well-oiled machinery. So you will see people that you have not seen in a very long time. So for example, you will probably see this fella. Is
Ashton Ford.
Ashton Ford. You have not
Yeah.
seen Ashton Ford in the front line, and lo and behold, you will see Ashton Ford on the ground in Arima on election day, coordinating a particular area, right? So those are the things that happens in terms of their well-oiled machinery. They sit down and they strategize, and they have their strategy meetings in different MPs' houses and that sort of thing. I mean, there's one of the big place, one of the main places that they set up their strategy meetings is in Valsane at Rohan Sinan's house, and they meet they meet there with a lot of it's a huge strategy meeting that takes place ever so often. So we give them that, as opposed to what the NACTA poll did say, that the UNC does not, it has struggled because of the choice of candidates. They have struggled to get the well-oiled machinery going. Now, Vonnie saying, what's Vonnie saying, I will not discredit. With Jack in the mix, Jack has the power to make the structure, create the structure that is necessary to have a well-oiled machinery. Jack is one man though, and the problem is monitoring and keeping track and evaluating who is doing what. And people as lie. If they have an agenda, and the agenda is that they don't want Kamala to be leader again because she bring in Jack and she bring in this one and she bring in that one, and people are going to lose their statuses within the party, there might be very well smiling faces and clapping hands at meetings, but agenda has already been made with regard to what happens on election day. So there's also that possibility of internal sabotage that exists, and I will not put it past nor discount it from the UNC.
You know what? Anselm, Mr. Trinidad, they know what they want. That's all I can say. Because you can't, okay, you all have your well-oiled machine and you're getting the voters out and blah, blah, blah.
Of your home. You have to load up the magic.
What she said?
I'm going to place for you. This is Kamala new one.
Wait, you cut me off, Anselm.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, I was just in the camera. Somebody just sent it to me. Go ahead.
You know, with all the well-oiled machine and all that. That's a sort of mamagism.
Nah, it's not mamagism.
Let me finish that.
No, it's not mamagism.
In my point of view, can I say something? In my point of view, you're getting me to the polls to go and stick my finger in the ink, hip hip hooray. But what after I put my finger in the ink? What becomes of? I'm going back to the same old.
There are some people that don't say it, you know.
What is what well-oiled machine ain't doing? It's not. What is it? What is it doing for the poor, disenfranchised people? This is my concern. There are people that are disgruntled like Anselm with the RPNM. You're going and do that again? Where you think you're gonna mix eggs and macaroni and cheese and think and you're gonna get callaloo? Come on, man. Well-oiled machine or not?
You have to realize that there are people who are very comfortable and happy with getting grants and getting their social welfare checks and their food cards, and they say, okay, yeah, remember that.
And that's the society they want.
We keep telling Diana that people are comfortable with whatever little crumbs they get in.
Well, let them say, well, you know what?
You have it
Pay that way then.
Let me tell you something. You have to understand that there's and that is why I'm saying that it is people who understand that there's a need for change, and a changing not of the guard, a changing of the system, a changing of the society, a changing of operations, a switching gears, a Mia Motley style vision for the country. It is the people like JB and Denise and others who are listening who wants that change, right? Who wants that change, who will vote in a different manner. But as Denise rightfully say, the mindset, the rednecks are always going to vote for Trump.
Regardless.
They don't care. Listen to me. Look at people line up.
Them can be blind with a walking stick.
Look at people line up.
UMP. They don't care.
Look at people line up to try to beat Trump for the Republican nomination. And Trump is 46% and his nearest competitor is 4 or 6%. Really?
And that is because of the racist agenda that is underneath of Trump. But and listen to me, that racist agenda will not win out because he's against immigrants and he's against people that build America. And we immigrants that are citizens and are able to vote, we are not sitting by idly and let him go back in there.
Let me tell you something.
So hold that comment. Hold that right there, Dr. Sheen. Hold that right there. Right? Before we go, folks in the chat, we're gonna go for a quick station identification. But before we go, Hailey, Nadia, Judy, Denise,
JB,
Bonnie Roberts, JB Harper. Go ahead. Who else is there? Captain Singh, CP Singh, DP Singh, Pizza, all 5 of all you. All you try to put closing quotes in. all 5 of all you. All you put 5 different closing. Varun Singh, all these things. All you just put quote. Just do it quote after quote after quote.
People just want to shot.
Bonnie Roberts. Yeah, just put quote in. Let's go for a quick station identification. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message. And when we come back, all of you Kamala latest one. Oh God, boy.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Back with you. It's in the village with the DAT Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday. And we have no stranger to the village with us tonight, no other than political scientist Dr. Shane Mohammed. Dr. Shane Mohammed, you want to finish your comment?
Boy, I lose.
You gotta laugh a little bit, man.
Your throat, my train. I
know. With all them different, quotes. Because about 5 of them, when you see, you have about 4 on Facebook with 4 different emojis,
By the way, how was your interview with the Honorable Chief Secretary?
No, it coming Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday. Okay.
It's Saturday. Okay. Yeah.
That should be interesting.
So here what to do. Let me listen to Kamala latest tonight. This is Kamala latest missive tonight. I don't know it, but the thing say, who writing anti-cam script, boy? Listen to this, to be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie to all you. And Diana, you have to listen to this. I just get so much thing in my inbox, I just can't even share 5% of what I just get. I'll be honest. It's like, just now, my phone.
I'm a culprit. I send you a lot.
No, but what I just get is that I just can't even share them. A lot of them I just get, and sometimes it takes me like 2 days before I answer something. So folks, all you bear with me. So listen to Cam's relative missive. Listen to it. Hold on, listen.
You have to load up the matic.
Not hearing.
Load up this matic. You have to pull it back. You have to knock it on them. And then knock it again. Knock it again. When the criminals are coming through your door of your home, you have to load up the matic. You have to load up the matic.
Aren't automatic weapons illegal?
Exactly.
You have to load up this matic. You have to pull it back.
Okay.
You have to knock it on them. And then knock it again. Knock it again.
I know you just pull back a Glock.
To your door of your home. You have to load up the matic.
Oh God, I'm not going overboard now,
And I gunfight at OK Corral.
You understand? You understand? You understand?
Yeah. I think
you understand. You understand. There has to be a limit.
Yeah.
There has to be a limit to everything.
Yes.
You said it once. You said it once.
Yeah. You should leave
it. Not the matic.
What you talking about load up the matic? Automatic weapons in Trinidad and Tobago are illegal.
Never go for that. I cannot go for that. You see that? Kamala, you're going overboard now. You're going overboard.
JB, let me tell you something. I have not spoken to Mrs. Prasad Bissessa in a very long time. And we are not good. We have lost that goodness. And she is not, listen, incoherent. JB, let me tell you something. Boy, I have seen the good, bad, ugly, indifferent, the terrible, the worst that I've ever thought I would have seen in my life.
Another Western, good, bad, ugly.
I do not wish to go back there because I have worked too hard to build the reputation that I have and the credibility to be able to be in a forum of this kind. Took a lot of hard work, and I am not about to just simply sell that hard work for nothing.
Yeah, but Dr. Mohammed, you see this comment here? This comment is unacceptable.
Which one?
Load up the matic.
It is.
That is ridiculous. Here's why.
Anselm, you understand why I was saying from the onset.
No, I could see the I could
You,
see the
you
I could see
cannot.
light him up. But
It
she
is
should have stopped there. She should have stopped there.
you have to.
Now you're going over the top now. I'm
It is.
talking about load up the
You are
matic.
now what you've done. If you've made 10 steps back, you've
Make
made
25.
back.
Yes. So you know what? Maybe I have to take back the last comment, because she had intentions to come with this maybe next. Maybe there was like a progress then.
But
She
how
said,
you
"Well,
could?
light you up, and then we go load up the matic."
How could you say something like that? That is an automatic cocktail, right? Whoever wrote that speech for Kamala,
That's bad.
they knew what they were doing.
I gotta do a piece about that tomorrow.
But JB, what you are saying has been tried and tested and proven in 2020.
Yeah.
That has been tried. I always tell people the litmus test in my book for Kamla Prasad Bissasa's leadership was in 2020, and that is what the result was, right?
No. I don't like
that is not, listen, she's not connected with young people, and that is that Trinidad music you're talking about is fast as a dunce.
You know.
Oh yeah, I laughing but ashamed.
Yeah, ashamed now.
Ashamed.
She gone. She was, she was.
It must be Gary Griffith right that for she.
Gary had to have lost his mind.
Nah, Gary ain't gonna ride that.
Oh, Gary, I'm sorry.
There was this thing about they say about this donkey was in a hole, and they couldn't get the donkey out, and the owner was gonna bury it, and they started to throw dirt on the donkey.
And the donkey step up.
Yeah, every time they throw dirt on the back, he wiggle it off and he step up. And Kamala get to the top, right? And the hole just open back up and she going back down.
No. Don't do me that. Every time the Kamala in the hole, if Kamala is the donkey, every time they throw the dirt in the hole for the donkey to step up, the donkey get frightened, pee down himself, and wet the mud and start to sink again.
Oh God, that one.
This is the worst.
Yeah, that one. Load up the matic. And the thing about it, put some sense of, she said, at least she said, we'd light them up. They come into your house, so on. You understand? But this one, oh God, boy. Yeah, boy.
JB, I don't know where you get
right,
so close to winning a local, She
She
ain't no close to winning no local, boy.
But listen,
I don't have Kamala winning nothing,
But no. I was close to predicting a win for the UNC. I'll be honest.
I have not predicted a win for the UNC at all because there are too many factors at play. I am still at the point where it could balance off 7-7, but let me tell you something. With 7-7, because they will not discounting that the NTA and the PEP could make inroads. I'm not saying that cannot happen, but in the overall scheme of things, I mean, the stations are breaking the deadlock. I don't see the deadlock breaking. What I see now is San Fernando going back to PNM and Sandy Grande slipping. Kamala not realizing that if she loses this local government election, she will become Mary Queen of Scots of Trinidad and Tobago. Because it's the same people that writing that speech will call for her head on a golden platter.
Who's your speechwriter? What do you think?
Boy, I wish I would know. I wish I knew.
She should hire me, right, Angela?
Yeah. Call Sheena.
I'd give her a speech.
Guess your number from Dr. Mohammed.
You want the number?
Yeah, I said, WhatsApp it to me.
Dr. Shane, one time, Kamala was supposed to do an interview here, right? And it's not. So I call her and I say, don't in my kitchen, and she called me back, right? And I pick up the phone and I she on speakerphone. And my wife asked me, who is that? I said, I'm the opposition leader, Kamala Prasad Bisasa. Yes, but she's talking to you real nice, And she was like, yes, okay, Mr. LeBon, we'll come in on the interview. what time it is and so on and so forth and everything. And I said, thank you, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bassas. I appreciate it and everything. You know, she never show up.
No
And she
show,
never-
no apology.
no apologies, nothing.
Mm-mm.
Watch
She
me.
never,
She was sweet talk here, but the sting.
yeah,
sting
she
is worse.
my wife couldn't believe it. She said, Is that the opposition leader? I said, yeah, look, she on the phone. She talking and talking nice, but yeah.
The sweetest talk. The sweetest. Hey, JB, the two of them fighting each other.
They call him man Moon Man. Oh God.
Olia, I don't know what to say.
Wait now, at least I'm out of time and about predicting win for the year. But
Because
I
you against his pet party. Watch it, Angela.
I never say I predict anything. I didn't say you see you
Yeah,
don't
but
even hear.
you see, I want Hailey to tell me, under all seriousness, right?
You know he's
How
a pep,
many-
right?
Yes,
You know
and to be fair, and I want to hear from him. How many seats do you think the PEP is going to win? Fairly and square. Seriously speaking, or with all objectivity, how many seats do you think that the PEP could take in this election?
And we also have Margot. Margot is a pep too, but I didn't see her tonight. I think Ellis is a pep too, you know. Or he might be just the P.
Oh no.
He didn't get the EP yet.
If you could tell me from an objective perspective, how many seats can the PEP win, then we will be having a very different conversation, right? But to tell me that the PEP is going to win outrightly a corporation, the answer to that is no.
No. They might get.
Right?
Judy say all for pep. Judy,
Judy, stop drinking.
Yeah, Judy, that drink what I tell you put on, you pick up two now instead of one. You have one in your left hand and one in your right hand. I tell all you, let me repeat it before. Heidi, put in your earplugs. Pep have 2 chances of winning a seat. Well, 2 chances of winning a corporation. Slim and none. And Slim already left the building.
Hold on, wait. All PEP need is about 3 seats, and that is all PEP needs to make a significant changes. 3 seats out of 141? Have you lost your mind?
The man giving them less than, oh God.
But you're insulting your own party?
Hailey. No, Hailey. Hailey, no. Hailey. Hailey, you mean to say you only giving your party about 2 to 3%? That is it?
Less than that.
Yeah, Hailey resign. Hailey, send in your resignation now. Send it in to 1-800 WZYE.
Let me do that maths. Before we go, let me do that maths. This is madness.
1.41. 1% is 1.41. So if you do 3%, it's a little less than 3%.
No, 3 seats out of 100 multiply.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It's 4.2. 4.2 is 3%.
2.1%.
But I tell you, Hailey, send in your resignation. Send it to WZYEFM@gmail.com. Send it in. You go pass it to Philip for you.
Oh, God.
Hailey, you see that? You treating that statement there, it's how the P&M does treat their own. That statement there. All PEP go is 3 seats. And that's all PEP need to make significant changes. I should screenshot that, and send it to Philip.
But how that is not even logical though, because you have 14 corporations.
And they win 3 seats.
Okay. I have a question. Where are those 3 seats?
You're asking Hailey. Hailey can answer that question. One is in Whitby, one is in Toronto, and the other one is in Montreal.
Windsor.
The other one is in Windsor.
Windsor.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yes, JB. The NTA can very well do that, but I am interested in seeing the extent, and I do have my eyes on Arima in particular, and I will. When I put together the list of seats that I will be looking at for particular parties, that's something I will share with you all. That's something we could have a discussion about before the election.
So we have to remember this, right? Eileen says, "Who laugh last, laugh best." Right?
Yeah, but but you're telling me out of 141 seats, all you're going to win 3, and that's going to make a difference.
Dr. Mohammed,
Yes, ma'am.
thus far, have any of the relocated Venezuelans become eligible to vote?
Not that I am aware of. They've not been given ID cards. Some may have because of naturalization, the legal way, but generally speaking, in majority form, no.
Because I'm concerned, and I believe that depending on how many are there, and I hear there's plenty.
There are plenty, but the majority of them are very illegal. And what they've been very cautious about doing is giving them registration cards as opposed to ID cards, because the Trinidad and Tobago population doesn't take well to the Venezuelan population here at all. It's a subset of society, and they're not Trinidadians. You know, Trinbagonians are very warm, welcoming, community people. And what the error that the Venezuelans have made is that they've not only entered into the country illegally, is that they've set up pockets within the different different towns and different communities, and they have turned themselves into a subset of the community. So they walk to work together, they come back from work together, they lime together, they speak in Spanish together, and they're not very Trinidadians and not, well, they're not in Tobago at all in any large number, but Trinidadians in particular are not very pleased by that.
But don't you see, as time go by and they become more financially solvent and etc., and they could prove then that they could become naturalized. Don't you see them as a voting force, like they could be a demographic that any party would want to capture?
To be honest with you, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done in from a policy framework perspective as it pertains to the Venezuelans. And one of the things that we need to have is an immigration policy, which the government does not have, nor the UNC. And
how would this immigration policy look?
I can't tell you that, because then I might have
somebody. How should it look? How should it look?
How it should look? It should be a framework that ascertains competencies, skill set. It should be able to turn it into a workforce of some sort, to contribute productively to society. That's as much as I can tell you for now, because I don't want the next thing here, the PEP have a policy on immigration.
Right. So I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave it there for now. And what we have to re-engage, and we have to really come back and talk about this procurement. I wanna make a show just about procurement.
What you should do about the procurement, to be honest with you, is try and get a retired permanent secretary who understands that, who understands the what I was talking about with regard to the 3 coats and that kind of thing.
Watson Juke.
I'll try that.
Nobody ain't listening to me. I say Watson Juke.
Watson can't even discuss. He can't even spell procurement, much less discuss it.
Oh no!
But
leave that one alone.
But you need to. What you will need to get is
I'll get one.
A retired PS who understands that 3-coat system, and they would be able to explain why there's a certain level, why I have confidence in their.
Would Karen be able to do that?
No.
Was she an accounting officer?
Look, JB said Dyer, your friend.
Who,
which
Nico?
Dyer? JB, which Dyer? Dyer who?
I don't know. We all work together. But JB, anyway,
I work with a Dyer.
JB, send it to me privately. Send it, text it to my WhatsApp. Send it to WhatsApp. So, folks, I think we're gonna leave it there for now. And this
Yeah,
was a long.
we should what we could probably look at doing is I could probably do some comment. We could just do a discussion with regard to elections on the 10th if you want. Not the 10th.
Well,
The
yeah, you know
Saturday
what,
before.
Dr. Meb, we were trying to do something with respect to the local elections.
Mhm.
What date is the 10th? Let me see that quickly. Hold on. The 10th is
Not the 10th. What am I saying? The 12th. The night of the 12th, or even
yeah, the night of the 12th would be good.
right?
That is Saturday.
I could also do next week Thursday the 10th. Because for those of you all who I am on TV6 on election night.
Right. We had to get somebody. We had to get somebody for election night too. We're not going to be on TV6, CNC3 or something.
I don't know where Dr. Raghunath is, to be honest. I'm not sure where Dr.
And we could
Raghunath
just
is.
take a feed. We could just take a feed from
6.
From TV6. Yeah.
That will actually, you can do that too. You could do that as well.
Yeah. We could take a feed from TV6. That would be if Dr. Raghunath is not any place.
Yeah.
Maybe we can bring him in.
Yeah. But I'm not
I think we can do the 12th too as a pre, you know?
Yeah.
So the Monday is the election.
Yeah.
So I think
Did
we
he?
could.
Oh Lord.
JB, let me tell you something. She has, I don't know if she still if she is or she still is, but after her retirement she was co-opted to be a consultant. So she was consulting with the Ministry of Education, I believe. She wasn't one of the worst. In fact, I didn't have a lot of issues with her. I find she was a little bit too blasé. I have a lot of respect for Sukram, and but it was the one between Didier and Sukram that I had the issue with regard to the water. But I forget the lady first name, but yes. I can't remember.
I'll
do you know Lydia Jacobs? Do you know Miss Lydia Jacobs?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Lydia
She was
Jacobs.
XPS. She was
former
XPS.
Permanent Secretary Lydia Jacobs. Joan Mendez is an excellent person who you might be able to get on if she's willing. You could Mr. Cooper. He was head of the public service. You could ask Mr. Cooper as well.
So send the contacts and
I could send you Mr. Cooper's number.
Yeah, I get in contact with him.
I will send you PS Cooper's number.
Right. So Shane, any closing words before you go?
Guys, let me tell you something. You are witnessing the atrocities of and the demise of good quality of politics in this country, and we need to return this place back to civility and intelligentsia. I remain very strong in my belief that hold on.
Margot just come. That the next Pep boy. Margot here we talking about Pep. She running, boy. She running. 10:26 Margot running. Oh God.
I might fund it. Oh, good. Hold on. Margot, it is not on the 21st, it is on the 14th. So please make sure you vote on the 14th and not on the 21st, because there will be no stations open on the 21st. All right.
Margot was just waiting for she name to get called. As soon as Pep called, you know how to call two people name. How to call Eileen and Margot. You know what I mean? Because we in the village. We have all different people here in the village. We have UNC, we have NAP, we have PNM, we have NTA, right, Diana? We have
Margot, you're not even going to vote? Oh my God, they can't even win. Then they just lost a serious voter there, man.
Yeah. And Eileen can't vote either because they can't vote virtually. No absentee votes. So that 2 less vote for Pep there, so they just lose the seat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, West Windsor, man.
Yeah, hey, the 3 seat Eileen get them to just lose 1. Oh
All
God.
right. So we could look at something on the 10th or the 12th. I'll keep you posted on that. I
All right.
actually I have to do uh crunching on some numbers and that kind of thing as well.
All right.
So
Good.
I could
We
share
going-
with
we
you all
go-
the seats and things
Right.
that we could look at.
Right. We look forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Yeah.
please do not be pumping no matic, please.
No.
He going to
We
cut that out. You know, there's a song by one of them fellas that they banned. Send for the Uzi
JB,
and the
you doing me
Matic
that, boy?
instead.
Yeah. Hey, JB. That a good suggestion you had, you know.
JB, you doing me that, boy?
All right. So Dr.
All
Shea,
right.
we'll see you.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And you could probably touch base with Dr. Raghunath and see where he's on the 14th as well.
I'll let
All
him
right?
know.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Take
All
care.
right,
Bye-bye.
take care.
Bye. So there you have it, folks. Let me quickly go here. No. Hold on. Eiley, Anselm, you want Pep lose bad? I don't want Pep to lose. They're gonna lose on their own. I don't want them lose bad. My closing quote: anxiety happens when you think you have to figure out everything all at once. Breathe. You're strong. You got this. Take it day by day. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall. So that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent. When talent does not work hard, and for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. See you. Same WZYE time. Same WZYE channel. Later. There you go, Diana.
Okay. I'm going to take a quote from Abraham Lincoln and tailor it to Trinidad and Tobago. Elections, to Trinidad especially, elections belong to you all. It is your decision. If you decide to turn your back on the fire and burn your behinds, then you will just have to sit on your blisters. This is Diana Benskin bidding you auf Wiedersehen. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Diana. All right, so let's go quickly here over to the quotes. Nadia, good night. Rose says good night. Rose, welcome. Good night, Dr. Shane Mohammed. Be safe. Margot says we'll see on the 14th, Margot. Rose says good night, everyone. Be safe. Let me go back here. Okay, we got to go back a little bit. Hailey says, who laughed last? Laugh the best, so don't worry. You'll eat your words. Hailey, you ain't eating no words, Hailey. Hailey, be careful.
Hailey said Pep is do plenty with no financial support. So say what you want, but Pep will prove themselves. Don't believe me, just watch. Trinidad James.
Hailey, whatever you do, don't load up the matic, eh? Denise says it takes cerebral and testicular fortitude to accept changes. TT voters have the power to orchestrate change. As change makers, we set the vision tone of the country for a better future for all. Ali says the older PNM and UNC politicians get, the country gets worse and worse, and it will not get better under either party. Shame, you and Kamala are good. Okay, why did I think I read that already? Why didn't you? I gotta go back here. Judy says my closing is to see Farley and team along with Dr. Shane Mohammed from their party for the 25th 2025 election. Nadia says good night, everyone. Stay safe. Okay, I think that's it. All right, folks. We're gonna go tonight with Trinidad with Mr. Trinidad by Maestro. See you, folks. See you on Saturday. Same WZYE time, same WZYE channel. Later.
Mr. Trinidad, tell me what scene you on. Do you just like political confusion? You criticizing the way you live, yet you can't produce an alternative. You say you against the power structure. You ain't like the opposition either. But take care, you jump out the hot water and end up in the center of the fire. Because you refuse to vote in election. But then you want revolution. You're strongly against communism. You walk out on colonialism. You stay with William had to go. But who replace him? You end up. So to make a long story short from in front, Trinidadians they really know what they want. My friend, if you don't want democracy, the opposite is guerrilla activity. If you don't want democratic improvement, you have to want a revolutionist government. And yet when Guy Harewood went in the hills with Jennifer Jones, you let them get killed. All you're doing is grinning and skylarking. You come like the ass in the lion's skin. Because you say Robinson is a traitor. You say what's than that about Ranger. You say Kamal seeking his own interest. You call Millet a Marxist Leninist. You are ODAC, neither DLP, and you say TNM is only ratchet field. Well, you tie up yourself. I gonna tell you why. Trinidadians just like plenty mama guys.